Three's Company.
Three's Company. Ah,
You ever watch Three's Company?
I can't say that I have. No.
At Retro next year. No, I absolutely. Do you even know what Three's Company is about?
No, I probably should because the theme song is very recognizable and the name of the show is very common. Like I've heard of it, obviously.
So what it is, it was actually quite ahead of its time. There's some jokes in there that, of course, are a little like, like dated and whatnot. But what is so? There's these three friends, that they decide. Oh my goodness, why am I Chrissy, Jack? Oh man, I'm like I wouldn't say a mega fan, but like quality wise, I'm a mega fan. Man, I'm forgetting the third characters though. It's
Real mega
Chrissy,
fan here, folks. Good thing we're
Chrissy,
live to
Jack.
catch you.
Oh no, Three's Company. Good thing we're not live. Yeah, like we're live, but
This is we're
oh my
live.
goodness.
It's for
We're
the
definitely
Patreons at
live.
least.
Oh my god. Janet. Okay, that's who it is. So anyway, so
Forgettable name.
Janet, she is my least favorite of the bunch, so that's probably why. But Janet, Jack, and Chrissy are best friends, so two females and one male. And Jack is played by the fantastic, the late great John Ritter.
Oh.
So yeah, so that this was his like big breakout show. So what it is they don't have a place to live, they can't afford rent, so they want to live together. But it's like, I don't know, maybe this was a thing, but it was something like you couldn't live with a woman unless you were married to them or in a relationship, but they were just friends. So it was like, how do they do this? So what happens is Jack, in order to live with these women and save rent, he says that he's gay. So then like
Mm.
there's none of that shenanigans going on. So the entire show lots of time is like him trying to pretend he's not, like pretend he's gay, and there's all these
Yeah.
scenarios and all these things. Legitimately it is like, even though you're on the wrong side of history, it was like a big inspiration for Friends makes a lot of jokes about it. It was the show
Why am
that
I on
like,
the wrong side of history here? What are you
because you
talking
think
about?
Seinfeld's better than Friends,
I never
you're on
said
the
that. I never said that.
yeah,
I
I
like
think you did at the party. You
no, no,
implied, you
no, no, no,
certainly
no.
implied
I
it.
was just trying to defend Seinfeld because you're just super against Seinfeld. I haven't even
Classic
seen all
white
of
male.
Seinfeld, but I've seen all the Friends, and I grew up watching Free. So yeah, fuck off. You lose
Three's
this round.
Company Three's Company started the like real, like, oh, the plot line is a miscommunication of things happening and stuff like that.
Uh,
So that's what that is. It's a
does
great show.
does it hold up? I feel like just the way that homosexuality was handled in the 70s is a lot different than nowadays.
So that's what I'd have to do a rewatch. I definitely watched because my gram, when I was over there, like she'd always have like Deja Vu on that network, and that would always
Mhm.
be playing it. They do like an hour block at like 9 p.m. and we always watch it. I think for the most part it holds up. There's actually some stuff that's forward thinking of like, wow, like you are ahead of its time, and then every once in a while you get a lot of the like, if you're gay, you're girly jokes and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that stuff doesn't hold up. So I think the actual comedy wit for the most part stands up. I think there's some part that's forward thinking, but then there's other stuff where it is like, yeah, a little below the belt humor. So I don't think you could do that show today. I
Yeah.
really like, I don't like you. I don't know how you could pull it off and not be too offensive, but
Well,
and then I guess that wouldn't be a thing today. You can live with whoever you want,
yeah. Yeah,
like
absolutely.
that's
I just
that.
the way that you're describing like a lot of the scenarios like miscommunication, I feel like at least in the 70s if they had a show, the whole premise is like literally in the plot description is like someone's just trying to pretend to be a homosexual. I feel like that would be the running joke of the entire
Mhm.
show. And if that's not the case, then I think that's kind of ahead of its time. For them
I
to
think
like
it
not have like the main focus on that type of joke as it might have been perceived, back in the day.
It definitely is for some episodes, though. I can
Okay.
definitely say that. But lots of times it's because like Mr. Roper, who was their tenant, is like finding like Jack on a date with a woman, and he's like, "What's this going on?" And they always got to find some
Mm,
fucking elaborate way to get him out of it. And Janet's like the straight man. Chrissy is like she's like the ditzy blonde. Like she is the prototype for the kind of dumb blonde character and whatnot.
mm,
So
okay.
one one of my favorites. I was talking about themes before we started this cast. Have you heard the new Adele track?
No, I haven't actually. I saw you posted
Good.
something on Twitter. No, I haven't
Mhm.
listened to it.
Yeah,
You
it's good.
say
It's
good, I haven't listened to it, or it's good?
no, both. I don't want you listening
Okay.
to it. No, no. It's because I had this theory for a while because I said to Emily, I was like, man, I don't know if she can sing anymore. Like I had
She
worries, and
lost
then
some
when
weight.
well, that and she's been through a divorce, but no, just in general, she was being very cagey, and then also it's a thing where she hosted SNL last year, but then she didn't sing, and I was like, uh oh. Like to me,
Oh,
that's a red flag of like why is she not singing even her classics, like a remix. But then no, she put Easy on Me. She still fucking got it. I worried for absolutely no reason. She's still just the bee's
cool.
knees. Like I can't wait to listen to some album cry. Like every time I get in the car and she's just on there and they're just pumping that song. So it's really good. It holds up. I like
That's awesome.
Adele is like like I know she's already super popular, but I feel like she's pretty underrated for her age and the bangers she created over the years.
I
Like
agree with that statement, and it is weird because she is like so well
dirty.
known. She has an Oscar, believe it or not,
Yep.
thanks to Skyfall. Multiple Grammys. Like she's just a powerhouse. But at the same time, I feel like people don't appreciate her enough for like
Mhm.
just the power levels that she goes to in her voice and some of those tracks. And I haven't listened to like her entire discography, but there's certain songs that are just constantly in my rotation. And I haven't really been listening to music, funny enough. Like lately, I've been really deep in my Lord of the Rings audiobooks.
Oh
But
yeah.
I have. I mean, I was listening to the James Bond soundtracks earlier, so that was kind of the extent. So then, of course, Adele's on there, and it's just man, like I just there's something else, and I feel like I knew that the album was coming. I completely forgot that she dropped. It's
Mhm.
just a single, right? Just one song.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She even dropped it like a day early. It came out of nowhere. There was no like hype. It was just like Adele's new music. The single's coming out next week. It's like Jesus, like
Yeah,
but I feel like this is the equivalent to, and I think hers will be maybe. I don't know if it'll be a bigger scale. I don't know if this comparison works, but hear me out. When Justin Timberlake took like that long break and then he put out 2020, and it was like because for a while he did like nothing music related. It was just acting, and he would do
yeah,
nothing, no sing. And then he did that, and he was completely back in the music game. And I feel like this is this generation's or this decade's equivalent to that, where she's taking a long break. Like, what was the last? Well, last one was called 25, right? So that was like 5 years.
25. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's 5 years ago. That's
yeah,
crazy, and she's
and
still super relevant. And like you think about people, they're always like, even something like Beyonce or something like they're always putting out like tracks every couple of years. In
right.
5 years, it's a
That is
big
a big
lead off.
hiatus. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
didn't work for
for
Lord.
Did you listen to her album?
I listened to one song and I had the exact opposite reaction, right? She doesn't got it anymore. And it's so funny
Oh,
when Lord happened. And, this is just for the live people and the Patriots
well,
because
she
this will
was
go in.
so young, honestly, when that first, like, Pure Heroine, I think it was called, when that album dropped, I think she was, like, honestly, like 18, maybe. Like, she was
Yeah.
super, super young
But
at that
remember,
time.
she called out Taylor Swift for having like generic music and all this stuff. Like,
Yeah,
started a
I
little
remember.
rivalry. It's
And
like,
her, like, clique that she had, like, especially I think that was
yeah,
at the time when, oh my gosh, I forgot the song was, but she had, like, the music video with, like, all the supermodels and everything on it, and then Lord
Royal.
just kinda
Oh,
caught her.
T Swift was
T
doing that.
Swift,
Yeah.
Bad Blood, that's what it was.
Yeah. Well, I'm all down for people calling out people, but you gotta have the goods to back it up. And at that point, Lord did not put another album out for a while. And this one, I didn't listen to it because I heard that first song. I was like, well, even if this hit song's not doing it for me, it's not gonna be my jam. So,
Yeah,
as Bubs, we'll be referring to this when we do our Bond rankings, but
absolutely.
maybe we will agree or
Spicy
disagree.
spicy take, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my little comment on it. Yeah, no, because she had, I think, 2 songs that came out before the album, and I liked one of them enough. I didn't really care for the other one, and
Mhm.
then the album dropped, and I just haven't really jumped into it. How in the world do you guys have time to keep up with music too?
Well, I here's the thing. I would say I keep up with the people I like or new people. Like, there's so many. Like, I still haven't listened to Drake's new album. 100%. I can admit
I
that.
haven't either. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
So
you
that's where
listen
it's
to
like,
Donda?
no, I haven't, because I'm still
Oh,
in a
okay.
moral dilemma with myself. Have you?
I couldn't get through it all, so maybe
Like,
that's a
comes
mini
time, or
review on
because it
its
wasn't
own.
that good?
I think a bit of both. I think it's
Yeah.
honestly like a 2-hour album, which is fucking insane. It's so long, and he has like part 2 of a song on there, and
Oh, okay.
I think some of it is like a label like rights or something. Like I don't
Mm,
know. I don't know all the politics behind it, but no, the first song is god awful. It's kind of like a skit. It's just literally him saying Donda on repeat, and there
yeah.
was a couple bangers on there, but I don't know. I think it would be like a really good song, and then it would go like 4 really lulls, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm like taking my time out of the day to listen to this. And then a really good song would come on. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a try. And then another good one, and then it was just like, how much longer in this album? And it's like not even a quarter of the way through. It's like, okay, okay,
I l-
Kanye.
I listened to Donna, thought it was pretty good, then forgot about. See, and that's where I guess I because
Yeah,
I've gone back
that's
for
exactly how I
yeah.
feel.
I said this a few months ago when we were talking about this, that like I go back and forth with Kanye. Like I just feel like he's just such a trash person of like, do I want to support this? But then when it was backed up by multiple people being like, yeah, it's fine. Like no one was saying you gotta listen to it. I was like, am I missing anything? I'll get around to it. I'm
Yeah,
a big Kanye fan, so I will at some point. I know it doesn't matter. I'm gonna listen to his old music, so I still
exactly.
support the guy anyways. He's still getting my money on Spotify. So it's just that like I don't like what he is now. But Drake, I love Drake. I've loved quite a few of his albums, and I've just want because the thing is with these new records though, I like to have time when I know like the last oh god, what am I forgetting? Or Halsey, when the last Halsey album, I was 3 weeks late to, but I was like, I'm going to the gym for 2 hours, I'm putting this on, and I loved it because I could really like I can listen to this uninterrupted, and that was fantastic. Because Lord, she does this great thing of like for more the first half of the album, but like the songs just bleed into one each other. Like it doesn't even feel like it
Yeah, that's the
stops,
way it
and it
should
just
be.
yeah, it's so good. So yeah, because that, and then you've probably not listened to oh god, I always forget the name of the album. Montero from Lil Nas X. I
No, I
always
still haven't jumped into that one.
that one's
I've added
good.
it.
Highly
I've
recommend.
liked it because of your little mini review you gave me, and
Oh
just
yeah.
basically told me to get on there. So no, I've never honestly really listened to a Lil Nas X music other than I guess Old Town Road. I feel like I was kind of avoiding that just because it was everywhere, and that's just what I was doing with music at the time. I'm like, nope, it's popular. I'm not listening to it. I got my 80s, 90s music I listen to.
And I'm like, hey, the only music I've listened to is Adele, then Swift with Lover before that. Anything that was in the movies I saw.
Oh my
Oh
god.
man.
He's
Montero
living in
is
like a
amazing.
footloose. He's living like a footloose town.
Yeah, no new music Montero's name. It really is. It took me by surprise because Montero. So I started following him on Twitter. Obviously, he's in Old Town, whatever that fucking song is. Road. That's what it is, right? With
Old Town Road.
Old Town Road. So,
Or yeah, I
anyways,
think so.
yeah, that's a mess song. So like I followed him because I just respected his hustle and his game and how he was promoting it. Like, did you see all these photos? Like when his album was coming out, he got a fake prosthetic put on that he was pregnant. So he kept talking about he was expecting something,
That
and
was
it
an
was
eye
that.
catcher. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I love shit like that where it's like, yeah, get out there. And so I was really worried I was gonna listen to him and be like, man, I'm not gonna like the music as much as his hype machine. And he definitely has my favorite song of the year with the Am I Dreaming with Miley Cyrus. My God, is it good when they start to like duet with one another and they synchronize their vocals. It's just really good. But yeah, it took me by surprise. I'll Lil Nas's marketing genius Ryan Reynolds tier, absolutely S Bubs. He got out there and he puts his
Is
name out there.
is he more of a singer? 'Cause I when like Old Town Road, I thought he was kind of like a hip hop artist, kind of
And he's
rapping a bit.
both.
Is he both? Okay.
Because people
I
have
guess
done
Drake's
that.
kind of both. He's like a singing
Yeah.
rapper.
Yeah, I still put a more rap Drake, like because
Okay.
there's definitely some
There's
songs.
subgenres.
Yeah, Lil Nas definitely has some like the "Am I Dreaming" song. That's no rap at all. It's just him like singing with Miley and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Family Clay says, "I don't listen to music. I listen to podcasts, audiobooks. I go in moods the same way when Kirkland says
Yeah.
he's not listening to much music right now. I'm so behind on my backlog of podcasts. I usually listen to most of the network stuff, especially the ones I got edit. So I always listen to Marvel Alliance and DC Alliance. Star Wars Alliance is usually on there as well, but I've been behind on that one as well. Like, and then other podcasts, like my wrestling podcast, I just have a slew of them because lately I've just been like, sometimes I'll listen to them while I'm biking to work, but I've just been like, I want to listen to music while I'm biking. And plus, before I'd go back and forth with podcasts at the gym, but anytime I'm working out lately, I'm just pure music. Like, so, like,
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know if it's just because I want to have more intense workouts, whatnot, but like, so that's where the music is coming lately. It's maybe too because the bike rides are harder right now because it's colder. So you want to be fired up for that bike ride. Where in summer,
Yeah.
you're chilling, you're like, ooh, I'm going to work right now. You're like, fuck, like, come on, it's -5. I got 6 minutes to get to work. Let's do this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 422nd episode of the Geek First podcast. I am the Give Me the Batman, Travis Snell, and I'm joined by
Round 2, Kirkland Patzer.
Round 2. Yes, welcome to the new era. This started a few weeks ago. We got 2 newscasts a week. Obviously, did fandom this week, and then you got us doing this. Next week, we'll have the GV3 together. I can't remember. I lost our October schedule that I gave us because now, if people don't know, we talk about the Tom Hall. We have shifts. So, like, 1 week it's Kirkland Taylor, 1 week it's, this and that. So, it's going to be good times. We got tons of stuff coming up. Dune, Last Night in Soho was close. It's a week away. I got to buy my Last Night in Soho ticket. Like, I'm excited for Dune. Don't get me wrong, but Soho, I cannot wait to see
Uh,
what's going on.
I
You
feel
know?
like I didn't forget about that movie, but it's like, okay, it's so far away. I'm just not gonna try and like get excited for it. And
Mhm.
then when you sent me that message, I can't even remember if it was today or yesterday,
It was today.
but
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like, oh shit, that's so close right now. I'm so excited. This has been a good stretch of movies we've been in. I
Oh
didn't
yeah.
watch Halloween, but before that,
You're
oh my
fine.
gosh, what was before that? Help me out here. Oh, Bond. There you go.
One, and then we had Shang-Chi and stuff like that, and then we had Venom. So
Good
that
stretch.
yeah, we had a good stretch for 2 weeks. But no, that's the good thing with now we're finally getting these movies. It's just like boom, boom, boom. It's to the point where I'm like, man, I don't even know if I'm gonna see Ghost Busters like opening night because we're seeing so many movies. I'm like, I'll get around to it. But same thing, I haven't seen Last Duel. I've been so busy, but I want to see that. There was another movie that came. It's another indie movie that's coming out. Oh, Mass. I want to see that. Have you seen? I think I showed you the trailer of the A24 movie called Lamb. Have you seen this? So it's
You were
Naomi
talking about it
Rapace.
with Taylor, I think, at the fandom, or it got mentioned or something. I don't know if I've
Okay.
seen the trailer or anything for it.
It's Naomi Rapace. She's from Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, like the original one. She's in Sherlock. She's in a bunch of other things, but like you'd recognize her. She's been in stuff, but it's about her and her husband, and they give like they have a baby, and the baby comes out and it has a lamb's head. Like, and it's an A24 movie, so you know it's gonna be fucking like worth the watch, at least for us. I think our audience is a bit more like that. Taylor's always 50-50, but what's this face? You look very confused.
I guess so. I looked it up, and then it shows like Lamb 2021 horror fantasy, and then just below it, it says 46 minutes, but it's because it like broke up the text, so it's like an hour 46 is the runtime.
Okay.
But for some reason, I thought it was just a 46-minute movie. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, that'll be a wild ride.
Yeah, so we that's out, but we didn't get it in Kelowna, so I'm really disappointed about that. Last Duel, I'm gonna see at some point, and then it just dropped on POV today. I cannot wait. Titan is out. I did, it's a French film that is just making all these crazy waves, and it's something like I don't know the exact everything, but I think there's a plot point where a woman gets pregnant by a car, and but like it's something that I think we're gonna watch for Golden Geeks because it's apparently just fucking like A24 like Lighthouse crazy. Like apparently it's just like this, and it's been very cagey, so I can't wait to watch that. No, it's just good. Yeah, as Buzz, remember when Jackass Dude and Last Night in Soho were gonna drop on the same day? Yeah, that would have been that Dune versus Soho would have been a very tough decision for me. I would not have liked that day. I would probably have just done a
Yeah.
double header, but still. But yeah, we got lots of good movies. And then after that, we got Eternals, we got Ghostbusters, and then December, man, Spider-Man, Matrix, lots of big stuff. And then we're like less than 5 months away. We're gonna be talking about the Batman again today, but we're less than 5 months away from the Batman.
Yeah, that's a oh,
That's
yeah,
one spicy
less than half a
meatball.
year. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're getting closer. So just head over to our Facebook and social media, Twitter to find everything we're doing, whether it's our episodes, our schedule, or our Facebook polls. I'll pip that out because we're in the semifinals right now. My boy, Freddy Cougar, just by 4 votes, beat Ghostface. He's in the finals, and he's going to be either facing Pennywise or Michael Myers. That vote is going on right now. I think Michael Myers is starting to take the lead, so it looks like it's going to be Michael and Freddy as we predicted. I don't know what's going to happen. I hope my boy, pulls it out. We'll see. Yeah, Morbius in January. Oh, how could I forget about Morbius in January? At least I know that'll be a fun review, but man, I'm not looking forward to that one. Um, what I am looking forward to is November 6th, 9 a.m. PST. Look at that transition. Our 24-hour Extra Life charity stream. It's going to be tons of exciting events going on, title matches, the new Mario Party, the new Call of Duty, best of five, the big trivia battle. We're almost, I think we have a couple more. I think we have 3 to 4 more people to announce, but it's over 20 people in this trivia battle. It's gonna be tons of fun. I hope the hosts are prepared to kind of like caress this madness because last year we had I think there's the three of us and I think there was 6 or 7, so there was like maybe just 9 or 10, but now we're 20 plus, so I hope the host can
Dublin.
wrangle these people. Yeah, and it's gonna be a fun time, so check that out because most importantly we're trying to raise $2,500. If we hit our goal, we will shave Taylor's head bald. If we hit our stretch goal of $3,000, Jessica will first time ever shave her head. First time ever in her life, but first time ever in Geek for shave her head. Her hair is super long right now. So do that. She goes back and forth every day if she wants to do it or not. So let's take the decision away and let's because guess what? All the money goes towards the kids and you want to do that. And then if we hit 4,000, Tony from Ranger Alliance will do that. There he is.
There
Tony
he
Walker.
is.
He
Speak of
said,
the
Team
devil.
Rangers, if you hit 4,000, you can shave his head, which I probably think, well, he probably had the shortest hair in GV history of shaving. But that's
And it's
fine
the
because
largest goal. I
it's
love
the
it.
largest goal, you know. But we respect that because it's all for the kids. It's gonna be a fun time. Harry Potter trivia, tons of stuff, tons of appearances from GUA people, other podcast members, people from Geekverse. So check that out. What else? Patreon, go over there, get ad-free exclusive early episodes. As we always say, the more you support us, the more content we can create. Yeah, we will eventually soon be getting those Spider-Man commentary tracks done. We have to before December, so they will be done. But yeah, either way, it's the best way to experience Geekverse over there. I think that's everyone. Check out the podcast network. 8 shows are going off there. Check out our 4 feeds, the review feed, main feed, the news feed, the retrospective feed. Get your Manscapes code. Use that right now. GV Pod. Get off 20% and free worldwide shipping. Thank you to everyone that has used that code so far. And yeah, that helps support us. And also it helps support your boys because it's you want to be nice and smooth. Like Kirkland, he's he can't say anything yet, but he has it. And I think he's had a good experience. But next week is going to be your turn to talk about your story and whatnot. So
I'm
check out for
excited to
that.
share the tale of my
Sure.
adventure.
Exactly. So, you know what I'm excited for is I'm excited for the Batman. Now, big thank you to everyone that checked out our DC coverage because, yeah, Fandom, it broke the second day record for Loki. Waiting for someone to break the Endgame record episode, but that's gonna be a tough task on that one. It's gonna be a lot of stars aligning, but still. Very big thank you to everyone that checked that out. But so there was some details about the Batman that came out before, and then there's some stuff that was talked about after. And I also just wanted to watch the trailer again. So we're gonna kind of combo all this together in one topic, and we're gonna talk about. So Kirk and Patzer, pull up that trailer first, and we're gonna kind of watch it beat by beat because there's some things I wanted to bring up about it. But
Oh, we can be in the
obviously,
bleachers. I like this view. You can see our reaction too.
yeah, exactly. Let's see if we get fucking flagged by somebody. But great show. We talked about this is the like opening of the trailer and everything. So what I'll do is you can just pause it, and then if there's anything I want to pause on, I'll tell you. Or if you want to pause on, let me know. Or
Okay.
you don't gotta let me know. You're the one controlling it. So
Yeah. Travis, can I pause it here?
yeah, because we're not doing a full breakdown, but there was something that I was like, oh man, when we were after Phantom, I was like, oh, I meant to mention that the whole time, and I never did. So play
All
away, play
right,
away.
here we go. Oh, that's loud. Spooked me. Can you
The
hear
thing
it?
is,
Can you hear the
no, I
audio?
can't. So that's a
Oh,
good
okay.
thing. You got spooked and I didn't. So now pause here, pause here. So I think we talked about this, but I feel more and more people are talking about it. They don't show Paul Dano's face at all. Taylor made a great thumbnail for this episode that because we didn't talk about this. This came out a few days before. Those 2 posters they released for the Batman, the one of him in the rain, which now we know is from that trailer when he's walking
Mhm.
towards the car. But then that Riddler one, man, that Riddler one is fucking beautiful. That
Oh,
like
yeah.
I love it's like smudged, like almost like a Polaroid picture or something like that. That's why I said to you, like this has to be the main image. And I still think like we have not seen his face, and we've talked so much at Phantom, so that's why I could have asked you this question, but still, I'll ask it again. Do you think there is something wrong with his face, or do you think they're just hiding it for just for fun, like just for curiosity? Like, oh,
Yeah.
you don't need to show his face, but it's curious. We've not seen it at all once.
I feel like I am kind of torn on this, like honestly, right down the middle, because on one hand, maybe they're saving it for like a big, like disturbing reveal. Like, holy
Mm-hmm.
fuck, like this guy he's mentally distraught, but also like he's got physical, I don't know, like alterations or something. Like he just looks messed up. Maybe that's what it is, and maybe it's just like we just don't want people to just look at this and see Paul Dano and just be like, oh, that's
Yeah.
the villain. Because I don't know, I don't think he's a creepy looking dude, like just his regular face, but also the fact that he has like we joke about it, but like the zipper mouth mask and everything like that. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that maybe pushes it a little bit over the line that there will be something going on with his face, and I hope that if that is the case, they explain it for a story reason and it ties into really what made him the way he is, almost like the way Joker was like, oh, you want to know how I got these scars, like something like that that really made him who he is because of those scars or whatever the Paul Dano thing might be. Maybe he's got two
I
noses. Who knows?
I remember thinking that exact thing when we were leading up to Suicide Squad. I'm like, I'm surely they'll explain why Joker has all these tattoos. and
That's
they,
true. That's
and
true. They
they,
have screwed us over in the past.
now I trust Matt Reeves. I've some of that scene Let Me In and the Planet of the Apes movies. I trust him a lot more, and it's so. I have so much to say about this trailer, like because the Discord's been good. S Bub says a great thing about the Joker. We'll bring it because I have something to talk to you about the Joker. Because again, it kind of the conversation of like, do we need a Joker came up, and I thought was interesting. But then Walt Gator says, hopefully, or he gets a legit costume that isn't a trench coat and a BDMS mask. So here's the thing, and Tony, you might be. I feel like you're similar to Brent, and Brent, I love you. I know you're listening to this. I know you're gonna take some shot about me on Marvel Alliance with Ralph Boner. Brent, for some reason, it could be the greatest movie in the world, but if that costume is not on fleek, if it does not look like the comic books, oh fuck that movie. You know, he always will bug me about the Joker movie. He's like, that's the Arthur Fleck movie. He was only Joker. Like, I get it. He always like wore the Joker thing for 15 minutes, but it's like that was the Joker. That was him becoming the Joker. The same way Hugh Jackman was Wolverine without the costume. You know, so for me, the costume, it's not that it's not a big deal if we don't do it, but it's just tough where if we're in this dark, gritty world, it's the same thing as the Netflix one, where again, this is where I know Brent would always be mad about Daredevil, but him having those black garbs and he sometimes didn't have the costume, it fit that world they were going for. I don't know if Paul Dano in this world that we've seen with this trailer, could he have the whole trench coat covered in question
Well,
marks with a cane? Like, I don't think that fits this world. I really don't. And you could
yeah.
get to it, but I don't mind the iteration of changing up the look, because guess what? If you want if you want that Riddler, we did get it from Jim Carrey. You
Hell
know, like it
yes.
like if you like it or not, it doesn't matter. Look wise, that is what the Riddler looks like. The very bright ginger hair, question marks over. He has a fucking light up jacket. So actually just love Zipper Mouth, like the look of it, you know?
It's creepy, yeah. And
Yes.
with S. Bob's what he said, I 100% agree with him. Rather have a great movie than a perfect costume. And
Mhm.
just the whole idea of like, again, that's like my only real Riddler knowledge is the Jim Carrey one, and then also what was shown in like the Arkham games. But I because when he was initially casted as Riddler, I think my
Mhm.
mind just went to Paul Dano wearing that super like
Yes.
eccentric Jim Carrey costume, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be like a ridiculous take on the character, and it's going to be my mind just went comedy right away because
Mhm.
that's what I get from the Jim Carrey version. So him not even having like that look and just literally having like the BDSM mask, like I'm all for it. Like it's so creepy. It's an eerie look, and I think just from the dialogue that we've received from him, like in the trailer so far, like I think that's the type of character that we're getting, just super disturbing and like really creepy. And I think that look just fits for him because he doesn't have to be like all suave, like a perfect suit and everything like that
No.
to be the Riddler. Like he could,
Yeah, especially if he's hiding out and stuff, it seems
well,
like in this
yeah,
movie. So,
exactly.
it says when it's the Batman, or when it comes to Batman, that's the only one that's allowed to have a costume as Batman. It's tough because I feel like it all depends on the character, right? Because technically, if Harvey Dent's in this and he becomes Two Face, I count that as his costume, you know, like when he gets his bird face. And there's no way the Joker, if he's in this trilogy, which we'll talk about later, there's no way they're not going to do Joker without paint, you know, like so. I think there's
Yeah.
exception because, like, even then, you can, if you mean the comic accurate costume, I could see that. But even technically, Zipper Mouth is his costume, right? Like that's
Yeah.
his look and everything like that. But all right, continue playing and whatnot. So, and then we get this great shot where obviously he's like getting waiting to get arrested, everything like that. I love, like I said, I said this on Phantom that it's keeping that comic book, and it's like not only is it like the Riddler like logo in
Oh,
the cup's green as well, like all the lines,
yeah.
like it
The
just makes
aesthetic,
complete sense, you know.
all the
I wonder if
attention to detail is just
yeah,
so masterclass.
I love that light. That signal is fantastic. Just that it's so like it's just homemade, you know, like it's just so
Yeah.
funny. And we got the goons early from the last trailer and everything like that. You got Batman. He's about to fuck people up, which is just glorious, but not as many people talk. He's very so. Pause right here, which is fine. It's the dark, but we know what we're talking about. Family says, what if that is the opening scene? I think the opening scene, like you're not wrong. It could be that. I feel like he will commit one crime and then get set
Yeah.
up. Like, that's what I feel like he'll do something in motion. He'll set himself up because you might have some people being like, "Oh, what did he do?" Blah blah blah. So as far I can't wait to talk about Joker. He's really going with this Joker theory he has. Well, don't worry. We're gonna bring it back, but I feel that it could open the movie, but I think he'll commit some sort of crime first.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Just to for like the general audience members that don't really know what's going on. Like if he just starts and he's getting arrested, they'd be like, "Hey, what did this guy do? And what's going on with this?" Could
Tony
be the
says,
end
"What
of
if that's the ending scene?" Yeah, they just show it right in the trailer. Batman doesn't even take down the Riddler; the cops do. You know. So, anyway, there's a few shots, and we're going to talk about this when it gets to it. But we just had the shot of him beating people up and everything like that. And there's a moment where he slams the guy's head against the wall and he starts to shock him, right? And obviously, people are like, "Oh, that's looking pretty violent. Like, what's going on here?" And people I saw share this gif around. We'll get to in the trailer. There's a moment, and this is one of the main reasons why I want to talk about this trailer again, because I completely forgot to shout out. Other people have, but when Batman is, we'd seen the shot before, but he's like raining down punches on some sort of
Mhm.
criminal. But when they show Selena and she looks like in shock, and I love that because one, I feel like they're gonna have this very flirtatious, and she's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, you're dangerous, and you can, beat up people and stuff." But I think that's gonna be the first time she actually sees like how fucked up Bruce Wayne is or Batman,
Yeah.
like I think it's just gonna be like, "Oh, you're a bad boy," to like, "Oh, you're Joe Goldberg," and stuff like that. Like I think
Yeah.
there's a switch that's gonna happen, and that might actually scare her. But it's created the whole. I've seen so many people be like, "Oh, watch when they don't complain about him killing and they complain about BVS." Now, I think there is some merit to that, but the thing is, like, it's tough, right? Because I agree with some people like you can't go off test screenings. Test screenings have been saying that so far there's a scene or something that sets up that he says he does not kill. Now people go, yeah, but look, he's fucking lasering a guy, all this stuff. At the end of the day, if they write it and they make it that he did not kill any of these people and he just injured them, to me, that's not killing. Now, the other reason for me that I have a more I'm going to wait and see, because you guys know me, I think this could be the greatest comic movie of all time. I actually think it could pass the Dark Knight, which is scary because I never thought that could happen. If he is killing people, for me, that is like a big con because that's not the Batman I like. That's not the route I go down. I'm fine if a life is taken accidentally. I'm fine if he kills the Joker because the Joker fucking deserves it. But like, there's certain levels. Batman's supposed to be better than all of us, right? So the reason though I feel like people, and I'm just talking for people that are my side of, I liked BVS and stuff like that, but when the lead up was happening and Snyder was kind of setting us up for like, oh yeah, like he was pretty much just setting up for like he does kill, he takes lives, and that's kind of the arc of this. For me, who did not like Man of Steel and other films, the track record of Zack Snyder made me worry like, oh, he can't handle this perfectly. I don't like my Batman killing, but if he kills, I'm down for it. I just need not really down for it, but I'm open to it. But I just want to see their like it ridden well. Where in my opinion, it
Yeah.
was not ridden well in BVS. So that's why
I
it's for me. It's a purely maybe it's biased, but I just like Matt Reeves' work a lot more, and I trust him more than Snyder. But again, if he does kill and they don't really address, I go, oh, okay, that's lame. It's just like it's just not the version I prefer.
Yeah, and I think if he's gonna take a life, it's got to be selective, like not just what we saw Ben Affleck's guy doing, just like shooting people in his Batmobile, just like taking names all left, right, and center. Like
Mhm.
actually, maybe someone just completely pushes him over the edge. Maybe the person that he kills in this movie is Paul Dano's Riddler. Like it's like it gets to that point where he instantly regrets what he did, like instantly because he knows what he's done. I don't know. I agree with you though. It's got to be written well, and there's got to be just a lot of substance because taking a life, it's a big thing, right? It's like the greatest sin, as some may say.
And well, if it's my nerdgasm that Pattinson's actually Joker, I wouldn't want that. I don't want to. I don't want a fucking like
Get it
situation
out
where
of here.
I don't want some situation where he's acting against himself and everything like that. But yeah, I do admit, like when he did shock that guy, I was like, oh shit, But in my opinion, some people
This
might be like, oh, that's bullshit. But as long as they have some sort of line where, oh yeah, it's just meant to incapacitate, be like, oh, perfect, that
and
works for me.
like I don't know. Like, are a lot of people getting triggered? Like, oh my god, can you believe he's tasing that guy? Like, that is so immoral. I'm like,
People are.
that's a non-lethal takedown. Like, come on.
Well, yeah. I think people are getting mad because, like, and this is where I've explained to Clay because he's said this to me many times, and other people where I say, like, I want my Batman to be fucked up, I want to be messed up, but I don't need him to be a murderer. And people go, oh, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter. The same way I would attribute to, like, there's people that could, like, love or be like addicted to sex, but that doesn't mean they're gonna go and cheat on their partner a bunch. And that's the way I look at Batman, where it's like he's messed up and he is just like so off his rocker and he does not know what is what, but then he still has that moral code, almost like what we are talking about Joe Goldberg, where he feels like he has a moral code. But like this the thing is like I people are talking about this because this Bruce seems so dark and he seems very kind of Ben Affleck way, where it seems like he's very, I hate saying the word damage because other people say it and just I have bad vibes of damage, but there's a lot of trauma there. But I still feel like there's a lot of trauma you can do with this Batman and he does not have to be killing people. And I think people are just assuming because he's dark and looking very broken, that means he's murking dudes. That doesn't mean anything. That means he could put some dudes in the hospital, be alive, but he's still even more messed up than Ben Affleck's Batman is. Like, I don't think you have to kill people to be too far gone. I think that's sometimes
No,
the easy route, you know?
absolutely. Shall
All
we
right.
continue? Or actually,
Well, go ahead.
since just this past scene, like all like the makeup that they're wearing, like that's pretty Joker-esque, eh? And like what's your thoughts on this? Is this like what S Bubs was it S Bubs that
We'll
pitched
save it. We'll
where
save it because
okay, okay.
we'll talk about the Joker after this, and we'll
Just wanted to
because
make sure we're
people,
gonna talk about it.
yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So he just beat a bunch of people. Now this was in the trailer. You can pause right here.
Oh, a blurry shot.
Yeah, that a great shot. So there's that one moment where he's just like in the last oh, that's a good shot right there. In the last trailer, how it ended, it was like Riddler being like, "You'll see," and this is clearly that conversation, right? Of them talking back and forth, everything.
Yeah.
This is something I'm glad that we why we're doing this, because when we watched this trailer the first time, I had no fucking clue what he said, and I was like, man, this feels similar to Bale, where at times you were like run that by me again, like what did you say there? But when he said he hits the glass and he said, what did you do? To me, this is again where the top people are talking about like he is a very angry Batman, you know, like very
Yeah.
angry. And
Oh yeah.
seeing and Tony says, seeing this statement quite a bit, do you think he will be darker than Snyder's Batman? Again, it all depends on what you define as dark. If you, and I'm not saying it's wrong, but if you define he murders people as the darkest point, then if he doesn't murder people, then no. But if it's just somebody that is just like mentally crippled, like the way Bruce Wayne was still like, he went to that club to get some information on Jesse Eisenberg, right? But he still brought home a woman the next night. I'm sure he had some fun with her. Obviously, this is Selena Kyle and stuff like that, so that could happen. But I mean, there's still ways he could be more broken down. Maybe the same way as we could talk about this too, where I still feel like Ben Affleck's Batman could still function a little bit as Bruce Wayne. We've said before where just even his hairstyle in this movie, he does not look like a suave billionaire. He does not look like he has
Yeah.
any interest in being the playboy billionaire, living any sort of life as Bruce Wayne. So to me, if he is just Batman 24/7, that to me is darker than Ben Affleck's Batman. But again, I think that all depends. I think they're playing in the same ballpark, though. These two
Yeah.
Batman.
No, I think that's a good point though. Like the observation you made, whether it, he doesn't seem like he is like the classic suave like Bruce Wayne that we saw from Ben Affleck. And when Ben Affleck was Bruce Wayne, like he didn't seem really damaged or anything like that. Like maybe he had a drinking problem, I don't know. But like he was just like you said, he was taking home women. He was very charismatic. He could flirt and like be like fun that way, but easily
He was
just
having some
pass as
bad dreams, though.
a billionaire
Remember,
playboy.
he had that
Yeah,
bad
but
dream where a bat came out of his parents' grave. That's pretty fucked up.
that is pretty fucked up. But I'm saying like when he's in like
Yes,
the lime the my gosh, what I'm trying to say here, the
public.
spotlight. There you go, the
He's
public.
still
There you go.
flirting with Wonder Woman,
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you're seeing the original," and it's just like, "Okay, Bruce," you know, like, like
Yeah, and every flirtation moment that we saw in here was him with Selena Kyle and him underneath the cowl, right? So it is him as the Batman, and like you said, if he's the Batman 24/7, not only does that fuck with his psyche, but like, come on, man, like read a book, like have a hobby. Like, you can't just be consumed by this, and maybe that'll be playing on his character, and what makes him so dark is that he is getting too engulfed in it.
Well, and Alfred's talking about that at one point. I think he says something like, "How much more can you lose, or you're going to lose it all," and stuff like
Yeah,
that. And we'll get to it, but I think it's so fitting. It's so great that obviously we hear him talk here. Espo says at first I thought, "Where is she?" He said, "Where is she?" I agree. I was like,
I
"Oh man, we're
agree. Yeah.
really into the Pale thing." But there's that one moment. I'll get you to pause. Maybe I won't. We'll watch it, but it's his first line as Bruce Wayne, not as Batman, as Bruce Wayne. And when he's talking to Alfred, he literally says, "I don't care what happens to me." And to
Yeah.
me, that is one of the most Batman things ever. Of like, and I'll say this again, same thing as BVS. Like they all have these moments. People are trying to pit them against each other. To me, one of the most Batman things ever is the opening of BVS when everyone's running out of the smoke and Batman runs into the smoke. That is such a moment where it's like, that's Batman right there. To
Yeah.
me, him saying, it doesn't matter what happens to me, that's Batman. Even if it's just like, he's that type of hero where, hey, you don't got to kill yourself to get this done. But if he feels it's the route you have to go, they even did that in Justice League Batman. Like he was going to sacrifice himself for the whole team. In Dark Knight Rises, he was going to blow himself with a nuke if he had to. Like, that's the Batman play, is I will die if it saves the city. And him saying that, I
Yeah.
was like, okay, that's Batman right there. Clay says, fanboy, he's gonna question putting himself in an Arkham. I almost guarantee it. That's interesting. I'm interested to see how much they play up Arkham. I could almost wonder if it's Alfred that would say, "Hey, maybe you're you're a little too far gone." And I've heard this rumor before. Apparently, Bruce is going to be learning to be normal in this trilogy. It tracks with all these trailers and everything like that. I think that's an interesting dynamic because most of the time he has already been suave. So it's like it'd be great if like almost day one he has the Batman stuff down. It's the Bruce Wayne stuff that he really has to
Yeah.
get control because
And
again, go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, like, we've seen Robert Pattinson pull off like a super charming like man, in
Yeah.
different roles. So we know that he can do that, but it's just it was selectively chosen for him to not do that, at least in the trailers that we've seen. And I think I don't know, like down the line, do you think he can eventually get there, or is he just a little too fucked up for what we're seeing in the first
Well,
trailer or second trailer, I guess now?
I think he can put on the persona that he's there, but I don't really know if he's there because I could see between these movies, man, we should just make this episode a whole Batman podcast. I could see these two movies there being a big time jump in between, and the next time Celine and him see each other, they're both very different people, and they kind of think they're different people, but in their like at their core, they're still the Bat and Cat, and stuff like that. So I think he'll change
Yeah.
publicly, but I think it's more or less just going to be like again how I was always said with Michael Keaton, like he's a fucking weird dude. Anyone could have put together that he's Batman. So if you see this Bruce Wayne and he's walking around all moping, he looks just dour. I'd be like, yeah, that guy's fucking Batman. Like he has the
Yeah.
money, he has all these bruises, and he's not happy.
And
Clearly, this is the guy.
I feel like
Like
the looks that he's giving, like just like under the cowl as Batman, are like the exact same of when he's Bruce Wayne. He's still just
a
like you
hundred
said, he's
percent.
just creepy. He's very dark and
Like we'll get to it, but there's that one shot, and it's in my Discord profile picture now. But it's like he's reading the newspaper, and he just has these glasses, but he just looks just so like dour. And again, that to me, I hope that's an aspect, but that could be a con. To me, every Batman has had some sort of con, and that's where it's like we've never, to me, gotten a perfect Batman with live action. Ben Affleck's Batman for me, yes, there was murder, but again, not my type of version. But I also don't think it was written the greatest. Michael Keaton, I don't like his Bruce Wayne. Batman or Christian Bale, I love his Batman in the writing, but there is the aspect of, yeah, he does just kind of multiple times. Like his goal is to get the city clean so he can be with Rachel. That's not
Mhm.
necessarily my Batman. And
Yeah.
I don't mind that they took that route. That's fine. And same thing with this. If in this trilogy they don't make him all like have the shield up of being Batman, I will say, oh, that's a missed opportunity because again, it's not that I need him to be Suave Bond. It's like that's part of the cover. It's he does that so no one will suspect that's the guy. And if
Mhm.
he's looking the way he's looking in this trailer, you would there's no that element is kind of gone. It's the same way as like I didn't like Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luger's a wrestler, Lex Luthor, because again he acts very strange and kind of inappropriate in public, so you wouldn't be like, oh, that guy's not shady, he wouldn't be dealing all this stuff. Like to me, Lex Luthor is like Barack Obama, The Rock, like someone super charismatic outside and then inside he's evil, so if Bruce Wayne is this way, I don't know. That'd be a thing that would be kind of a con for me. It depends how it's
Yeah.
written.
I feel like also if we get like the perfect represent or we probably won't get the perfect for all
Has to be
audiences, but
perfect, or it's just 1 out of 0.
but like if you get like someone who's really good at playing the Bruce Wayne role and also the Batman role, I feel like that's prime Batman. Like that is when Batman is in his prime because he's headstrong enough to be charismatic and sociable
Yeah.
in public, but also he can like keep his head and not be like what's going on in this scene right now. Like I don't know. I feel like for Batman to be so pissed off that he's like literally punching the glass, like it's just such like a bonehead move, like it's not a thought out
Yeah.
detective move here.
No.
He's just like super pissed off and his emotions coming out, like clearly he's not in his peak and his prime state.
And same thing. This is a movie that we've talked about. Like one of the details that's when we talked about this a long time ago. But again, there's been another test screening where people are saying like, "That this movie's 3 hours." I got a question about that after for you. But the thing is, even with a 3 hour movie, you can't cover everything. So when Matt Reeves is like, "Hey, we're gonna really focus on the detective side," if being him the Batman detective means we have to lose a little Bruce Wayne, that makes sense to me because we haven't. Same thing with Christian Bale. Yeah, he's a little bit of detective, but you can't dive into that because he's doing more of the Bruce Wayne stuff, more of the Batman Joker stuff, the love
Mm-hmm.
interest, stuff like that. So that's where it's like, I think, yeah, if you were to do a Batman 8 episode HBO Max series, then I would expect, okay, you could nail everything. But even in 3 hours, you can't. I don't think you can still get you can try your best, but can't do the perfect what everyone like doesn't even like. He has to be brutal. He has to be the great Bruce Wayne. He has to be a great Batman. He has to be a detective. He has to have these rules. Like you can't hit it all. So that's why it's the same thing. I don't mind if he's maybe a lower tier Bruce Wayne if we get this detective stuff because we haven't really
Yeah.
seen that in Batman.
And then you
So
can possibly dive into more of the sociable Bruce Wayne in
yes.
another movie or something like that. But no, I 100% agree with you. Like, if this movie is 90% him, like either in the cave and like he's technically Bruce Wayne in the cave if he's not wearing the suit. Maybe he's still Batman in that instance when
He's
he's being
never takes it off. Never.
like he's being a detective
Mhm.
like behind the scenes, and then maybe Bruce Wayne like when he's going to destinations, but not really like hosting parties or charity events
Yeah.
or anything like that. Like if that whole movie, like if we don't get any of that in this movie, I think it'll be totally fine because it allows us just more time to dive into the Batman and just how how pissed off he is, like he is in this scene.
Well, before we continue, let's take our first ad break and then we're going to keep talking about the Batman. So we'll be right back.
Oh
Oh,
gosh,
30 seconds. There we
30
go.
seconds. I'm gonna
I
go get
think so.
water.
It's take it. There you go. Can he do it in 30 seconds? Can he grab his water? Oh, for the YouTube people, when I upload this episode, you'll get to see these 30 seconds. My left eye has had like I think an eyelash in it the whole time, or one of my eyelashes is completely twisted and it's poking my eye. I really gotta look at it. I've never had time to. Oh my gosh. It's brutal. It's tough. It's gonna take me down. It's gonna ruin this whole episode. But he didn't make it back in time. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I'm back. Oh, there he is. The man sits down. So, no, it'll be interesting because we're talking about making public appearances. He still makes an appearance at some sort of funeral, too, at some point. So, and we've only mostly seen the lots of Bruce Wayne kind of behind closed doors. So in the animated series, Conroy still had the Batman voice when Batman was in the suit, but the cow was off in the Batcave. Yeah, exactly. Like being Batman is a mindset. And I will say again, I think we've said this before, really digging Pattinson's Batman voice so far. It's a I think it's like it is Bale growly a little bit, but it's not too growly, even though, like I said, in this scene, I did not understand when he said, "What did you do?" I did not understand him the first time. So that is a worry. That is a
I
worry.
thought he said like "Where's the gun?" or something. Yeah, we all had our different interpretations
Yeah.
of it. Yeah, no, I am more of a fan of this voice. I feel like just in general, I wasn't a big fan of like the robot voice
No,
that
I don't like it.
that Batflick went with, and like it's tried like different things. I'm not gonna say it's a
I
bad
get why
thing that they
they
went that
yeah,
route.
I
Yeah,
get why
yeah,
they tried
exactly.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But just personal preference. I'm
All right,
in
go
for the more
ahead.
growly stuff. Go
Exactly.
ahead.
Yeah, because then you could use it at any point.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
all right, what do we
Oh,
got
you're saying the
now?
trailer. That's what
Yeah,
you're saying.
I was wondering because you told me to go ahead. I was like, oh,
But you
we're
said
on
go
the
ahead. I'm like, what did I do?
big explosion here. And yeah,
Oh,
we
there you
talk
go.
about this, and then
It's
we get
getting photos.
just nice Selena, like, oh yeah, just nice little segment. We talk about her a lot of fandom, like they show off lots of
There it
characters.
is.
Pause that
Oh,
right there,
I
and
was
go
gonna
back to
pause. I
that
missed.
because this is what everyone's talking about right here. Go back a little bit to that shot though of him
Yeah.
read the newspaper, like like to me this is why like I love it because it's a meme, but he looks like Bully Maguire there. Like he does
Oh
that does
yeah.
not
He's got the Matrix glasses, pretty
yeah.
much. Yeah.
And that's what I do love about this movie, though, that there is at one point a point where it shows Riddler on the screen, and he's pretty much just doing Joker from Dark Knight where he's like talking to the TV screen, but it's like serial killer live streaming. So we're clearly in our era, but the aesthetic of it feels like, because we at one point thought there was rumors it might be a 90s movie, and that first trailer between that and then the Nirvana music was like, this could be in the 90s. It has
Hmm.
a very 90s feel and
Well,
aesthetic, but it's modern day, and I love that about it. It's very
e-
Tim Burton almost in a sense.
even like the attire that they're wearing is like 90s. And
Yes.
just like honestly, just this week, someone I was talking to about the trailer, they're like, "Oh, I just hate his hair. It's just so 90s." And
Emily
I
hates it. Emily despises. I'm always bugging her, telling me I'm gonna do it. You can see my hair is almost getting similar to, but like, because it's not even like how. If you notice me, let's do a little like zoom in here. So with my hair right here, I will always try to push it up, and then I kind of give it layers on the side here. He has completely taken it, and he's just pulling it
oh
straight
yeah.
down, and like he's just like, "Hey, I'm Bruce Wayne," like it's such a
I
funny
kind of
look.
got that length.
You can do you do got that length. You can do it for
There you
Halloween,
go.
but
I
just do
can put
Bruce
the
Wayne.
glasses on.
Get it. You should do that for the After 9 newscast, which is this Sunday. Tune in live. You get the
It's like,
glasses
who
and
are you? You don't know who I am? I'm Batman.
yeah. I would say one thing we don't gotta go by, but I learned what stiletto nails were this week. Did you know what stiletto nails were?
I thought stiletto. I didn't know nails, but
So
stilettos
actually go
are
back a
like the
little bit.
heels, right?
Yeah,
Like on
go back a
stilettos.
little.
Why
Go
are they
back a
called
little bit.
nails?
Well, right. Okay, go back. No. Right when Selena, you're gonna
I
pause it when
know.
she's
Yeah, that's
touching
the
his face.
stilettos.
No, no,
Those are
no, no, no.
stilettos, aren't they? Right here.
Yes, those are, but they're stiletto nails. Keep going a little bit. So pause it. Oh no, it's gonna be later on, I guess, when she touches his face. But her nails are massive.
Who's behind the mask or whatever it
Yeah, like
says.
that. So, but we'll get to that later. So this is interesting because at first I thought it was a Riddler crime when we were watching this trailer, but you have a just unless shirtless Bruce Wayne just showed up to the fucking crime scene. Like this Bruce Wayne's
It's
really
like I
weird.
can't think. I can't think. He takes his shirt off. Okay, this is better.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck, I hate this Wayne guy. But like all this stuff going on here, it's very interesting. And I go back and forth because I for a while had this theory that I thought Riddler may know that he is Batman. But at the same time, with the whole sins of my father thing, again, he may just be after Bruce Wayne and Batman retrospectively. And it is interesting because it might be a dynamic, and maybe they could say this for a sequel, but so many times Riddler is used for like he's obsessed with who Batman is. So far, they've not really portrayed that in these trailers. Like, it doesn't seem like that's a big thing. It's not like he's trying to find out who's Batman. It feels like he's trying to show Gotham how corrupt they are, obviously more violent. And I think that's another reason why Batman's not going to kill in the story, because Riddler's killing dirty cops and criminal or cops and officials. And if Batman's just doing it, how are they any different, right? And
Hmm.
maybe that's the point of where they learn and everything like that. But
What
Clay, oh, that's Clay says, "Sins of my father, ugh, if they go that route, the parents being shitheads, it's overplayed recently." So here's the thing I will say, Clay, and then Kirkland go, it's overplayed for you because you're like me who reads comics and they've been doing it a lot in video games like the Arkham Telltale games and stuff like that. In the movies, his parents are not shitheads. They're always just the good, rich people who are really nice. So that's why I want them to do it. And I get you'll not be happy, but in the movies, they've always just been generic good guy parents or, just overly good. So they haven't really done that in live action movies yet.
so the more I look at this, the more I actually think it is a crime scene. Like, what's this crime scene tape right here?
Okay, but
Why
then
would
how
he
did
just have that in his cave? And like the order of these lamps and everything, like I feel like that's such a Riddler thing to do.
I
Have
agree,
the
but then
but
how did he get in here shirtless?
I don't know about that.
This
I'm
is gonna be
ignoring
like
it.
this is gonna be like BVS when they had the piss in the jar, and it's like who put the piss in this jar and got it past security in this room? But like I agree, but is this way the way he's a detective though? Is this his thing? And he says, "Are you sure it's Patterson?" No, it's just
Yeah.
some random cop. Is it Dano? No, that's a good point. It could be Dano, but
But the
this is
hair is pretty dark for Dano because Dano's
yeah.
more like a dirty blonde, right?
But this is the thing. If they're stressing this Batman is a, whatever detective, maybe he is setting up like a cop, like a scene, like he's laying out all this information, right? And
Yep, true.
either way, no matter what the scene is, stuff like this gets me so excited. Like this has Seven, this has just detective vibes all over
Yeah,
it. Like it's just a shot where it's like, man, this isn't a Batman movie. This is fucking awesome. Like I don't care what it's gonna
totally.
be. It looks really good. So Ben
No,
Swole
yeah.
2.0. Yeah, there you go. That naked people with that hair, that Batman hair, keep going on. So
I feel like some of my favorite parts of those like crime shows are like the creepy like scenes that they come across.
Yes.
Like even in Hannibal, there's some fucked up ones that they come across, and it's just like, holy shit, this is insane. So just seeing something like this, it definitely strikes my fancy.
Man, let's get Mad Mickelson in this world, you know? Like Marvel wasted him. Fuck, that'd be good. So yeah, let's keep going here.
Oh, look at that
Raccoon Eye
eyeshadow.
Batman. I
God, I
love it.
love
It's so
those. I love
good.
it.
Yeah. I hope he never takes it off. He shows up to the funeral and Alfred's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, wipe that off. So, oh yeah.
Good
One of my favorite
action
shots that he
scenes.
uses a bat to beat up a guy. Great. Penguin, great. You know, all looking
I
good.
think some of these combat scenes are just going to be so visually pleasing,
They're
and
gonna be
like
fire.
choreography, like Daredevil level choreography.
Oh yeah,
There it
100%.
is. So there's
Okay,
your
so it's
stiletto
right
nails.
there. Look how long those nails
I've
are.
seen longer.
Have you?
Oh
Like on
yeah,
a real person?
I feel like Billie Eilish has longer nails than those right now. If you follow her Instagram.
No, I don't follow her on Instagram. I don't
Okay.
have a personal Instagram. That's not my
Oh,
deal, you
okay.
know. No. But
I'll
no,
it's not my
yeah, I'll
fault.
have to look it up. I'll have to look at Billie Eilish nails. But yeah, I did not know those. So those are called stiletto nails. I had to learn on the internet because I had actually not seen the nails. So like, I guess she'll be using them to scratch people. I just feel like wouldn't that still physically hurt her because they're
Oh yeah,
attached?
there's no explanation for
Yes.
it.
And that's where we still live in the common world. I love that his expression every time she's around is kind of just like this, where he is just like like he looks mesmerized, but he just looks like such like a fucking just like he's just he's just brooding. He's just brooding, and I love and everything like that.
And
And
I remember I didn't even like the original photos of him like in the cowl. It was just like, okay, it's just so Robert Pattinson. It's weird to see that jawline like under the cowl. But then he like just in this shot, that's what
fair
see,
enough.
that's
Just
even a
a month.
short one. That's even a short one. Like the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but yeah, you get the idea.
Well, I just want to play a hashtag trash Tully so yeah, that you know what you were with me on the first one of like so many people freaked out broadcasting being cast. I was all for it. I fucking love the suit, and now all these podcasts I listen to like, oh, you know, I'm warming up to it. I was there day one, hipster Travis, you know. So
But like just look at his like you could Photoshop Selena out of this image and like it's just such a perfect shot of Batman.
yes,
Like he just God, he's got the look. He's got it. All right,
oh yeah.
let's keep going.
And this is such a great transition where she jumps off the building, it turns to him jumping.
Mm-hmm.
Man, so
Get the
good. And
awesome
this,
hallway scene.
obviously, people. So I pause this. I didn't know this. Apparently the same guy that was cinematographer for Rogue One's the same cinematographer for this.
Oh,
So
there you go. The Darth
that
Vader scene.
yeah,
Yeah.
that hallway scene makes so much sense. But again, it also reminds me of Dark Knight Rises. But yeah, that's didn't know. So Timo got a kick when he learns that.
Yeah, absolutely. His
I'm
favorite Star
vengeance
Wars movie
again.
of all time.
That's good. Oh yeah, Fair Stars movie all time.
The
So I
Batmobile.
also had a theory. Maybe some other people might have mentioned this before, so I could be like not that original, but because people have been trying to figure out the make of this car and everything like that. I wonder if there's a chance because it's looking like an older car. Do you think it could be his dad's car repurposed? I think that'd
That
be
could be a
really
fun
cool.
tie-in. Yeah, that could be a
Yeah.
fun tie-in. Is especially if it's I mean, we had like any comments like about his parents like in either of the
No,
trailers? Yeah, so there
no.
you go. Be some
You
I don't know, tie to his family.
you paused here. I'm interested to see why. Why'd you pause here? This shot
Well,
fucking is so good. Like this
it's
looks
so
like a
good.
comic book panel.
It's so good, but the first time I saw this, I wasn't even sure that was Batman at first because he just looks so big. He looks like
Oh
the
yeah.
Jesus Christ statue in like Rio de Janeiro. Like that's how
Mhm.
large he looks.
They
And
might be
then
going
like
for that,
that,
and then he just we were
yeah.
getting, like, a first-person ass view of, like, when he jumped. Did you see that?
I
Like,
know. I
from
was
the
gonna say the GoPro is a weird location for it.
yeah, like, it's like, remember in Thor Ragnarok how they did, like, hammer cam? We're getting, like, cape cam. That'd be
Yeah.
kinda cool, actually, just all shot. This shot, I know people have been trying to place, like, is it when he gets exploded? This, that. I don't care where it is, he just looks cool. As we've talked about
Oh,
before, one of my favorite probably my favorite version of the Spider-Man costume, there's 2 ones, is 1, the Ben Reilly one, but 2 is the Tobey Maguire end fight with Green Goblin when his suit is fucked up and you got the Spider-Man mask that's like his eye is half there. I love heroes costumes when they're messed up. That is the best version of a hero's costume when it's all
his
tattered and ripped. Yeah, this looks great.
his looks a lot more durable than Toby's was.
Oh, 100
There's no
Toby,
rips or anything in his cape.
I want to see Toby try and do that hallway scene with all those bullets. He just gets fucking It's just like movie over, fini. So
But yeah, no, just like again, him just scorning. Like he's just got such a good angry Batman look.
oh, he's
So
mad. He's pissed. Like this guy looks like he has a lot of pent up stuff going on. There's
there's oh yeah, look, and then
and
like
there's
her in
that shot. Look
shock.
how
Yeah,
scared she is. Like I said,
yeah,
I think this is deep into the movie, and she's all flirty and whatnot. And this, I think, is gonna be the moment where it's like the first red flag of like, oh. But then eventually she'll realize I'm just as messed up as him, and then they'll realize.
yeah.
And like, man, I don't know if we're gonna get in this scene, but Matt Reeves, you better give us some good sex scene. I know it's gonna be PG-13. It's not gonna be you season 3 level, but like they need to bang it out good, these two. But yeah, she's
Absolutely.
looking very scared.
No, yeah, and this is a scene that kind of I feel like it showed really quick that I kind of just didn't really grasp onto it at the time, but like
Yeah.
it's so important to show this, I think, because Selena Kyle is one that's just so as if she's just ahead of the game, like with everyone that she's dealing with, and like so like such a professional. Like she never seems like she's off guard or anything like that. But in
Yeah.
this moment, like she literally like jumps back, and like you can just see it in her face, like she just looks terrified of what she's seeing. But they'll probably make up and be like, okay, well, we each got our own different methods of how we handle things, and mine
Oh,
is
I
just
don't
beat the
think
living
so.
shit out of people. No, you
I
think
think
it'll
at the
be?
end of the movie they'll be at odds. I think they will be split up, and then they'll have
Wasn't
a
that the
like.
whole dynamic between the two of them?
Yes,
Like they
so that's why
both,
I think
yeah.
that's why I think they'll be at odds. Yeah, that like it's not a hard thing to
Okay,
say, but
fair enough.
I cause I think it's tough. Well, you know what? I don't know. I can't lie. I got that in Dark Knight Rises. I always was like, I want a movie. Yeah, like
Oh, that's good.
yeah, back to that rumor. I remember she's pregnant too, but like I was like, oh, I always wanted a movie where Batman and Catwoman end up together. And that Nolan did do that for me. So I don't know which route they go this way. It's a larger question, but man, they're gonna make this trilogy. And I know I'm being picky, but I hope that Passon loves this, and I hope he becomes fucking Hugh Jackman, Robert Downey, and I hope they finish the trilogy, and then like we'll do another trilogy. And I want him to do different villains. I want to see him with a Robin. Like I am, because he's younger too. It's selfish of me to say this. I want Passon just to play Batman for like the next 30 years. Like I just so
He's done
badly like,
enough. He's done
but
enough, like, different stuff, right? He was in Lighthouse, he did his little
yeah.
saga with Twilight. What's that other one that you keep shouting out that I haven't seen? It's like a
Good time.
good time.
It's
There
a
you go.
good time, yeah. But I don't know. There's just something about like this world that they're setting up. That's why too, when we talk about all these rumors of Matt Reeves figures that passing Kravitz, such a good. I love that these rumors, like these made up scoops, have been like stories all over. But
Oh, they become memes at this point.
100%. But that's a good thing about these rumors of like a Catwoman show, Penguin, Riddler. So far with this world, I'm just like, give me it all. Like, give me
Absolutely.
everything about this like world. I don't even care. Like, if they say they want to make a show about Jim Gordon's assistant, well, we are getting a fucking Gotham PD show. So it's just like, bring it all on. Like, I'm just loving everything so far.
And, like, the first chorus that they've shown us is so good already. We have Riddler, we have Penguin,
Yes.
we have Selena Kyle. Like, it's just oh, there's so much material already. So, like, if they even just I feel like you don't even really have to, like, introduce new people. You could just expand on what we have. They probably wouldn't
Yeah.
do that. They probably would introduce new people, but yeah, no,
Well, like Selena, you could though. She's just Selena here. She's not even Catwoman yet, right? And like
no, yeah,
I feel,
exactly.
in my opinion, I'm really hoping she's throughout the whole trilogy. I want like her to be with him the
Oh, yeah.
entire time, whether she's
100%.
opposed with them, whatever. I want it.
Yeah, and that's a rare type of character to have in I don't know, like, pretty much anything nowadays, whether it's I guess
Well,
I don't know. Loki's
I
kind
get
of
it
in
is
that
less
instance.
rare nowadays,
Yeah.
but, like, it is, like, for Batman, we've had that. It's always the Gordon, the Alfreds, and stuff like that, but like I said, I've always wanted, I hope one day it happens, Batman to have, like, a Harry Potter thing, and that's why this is like, okay, this isn't year 1, but this is year 2, and wouldn't it be great in 6 years from now where we see where this Batman is, and this Catwoman is, and
Yeah.
this Gordon and stuff, like, obviously, when we got that with the Dark Knight, so that worked too, but like with this character too, with Catwoman, who has been what there was Pfeiffer and there was Anne Hathaway. I don't count Halle Berry because she was in her own separate little thing over there. So it's like we've not had this with Catwoman though yet, as far as in movies,
No,
her
absolutely.
progressing. So
And like you mentioned with Pattinson earlier, like he's young enough, like same with Zoe, like she's young enough she could be doing this for a while at least. And like I don't know, I've liked everything that I've seen from her like so far just as the character. Again, I haven't seen her like a full length movie, but just like these shots
when you
and
know,
oh, when you know,
Yeah,
you
like
know. Yeah.
yeah. And Fanboy Clay and Espo apparently have this exact same thoughts until you see Pattinson in the end of Flashpoint, and then Monkey's Paw. Pattinson keeps being Batman, but he's in the main DCU. It's so tough, right? Because I don't want that. I really don't. I'm fine with like it's the same way as far like I wouldn't mind a Bale cameo in Flashpoint, but just like that world just doesn't really fit that. And again, we're gonna talk about this, and Clay won't like this, but for me, when I'm a shipper of hey, let's somehow work Walking Phoenix and this world together, absolutely. When you watch the Joker trailer and then you watch this trailer, they feel like not the exact same Gotham, but you could connect those dots for me
Yeah.
to connect the Patterson dots to the Flash dots, much more harder for me. So no, I wouldn't want that actually. I would rather them just go, well, people, Clay, you're not gonna like this, but guess what? Michael Keaton's gonna be the new Batman in the DCU. So we're gonna have a Batman over there already. We don't need Patterson. And honestly, again, I think it's Batgirl as well. There's a reason they're introducing a Batgirl. She could be the new main Batman bat person in that. So I'm completely fine if Matt Reeves, I've always said Batman the same way as X-Men could be its own franchise. Do this Batman universe, do the spin-off shows, do more movies. I don't need this with the rest of the DC stuff. I really don't.
What's this monkey's paw? I've
Well,
never
Monkey's
heard of
Paw
that
is like you
before.
get something good but bad in return, so it's kind of like a
Ah,
the
I
bedazzled
see.
witch thing. So that's the thing
Yeah.
where so same thing you, Kirkland. They say, okay, Pattinson's gonna be Batman for the next 20 years, but he has to be in the DCU. Do you take that or do you just take the trilogy?
Can I still get this movie, please?
You would, yeah. Fuck, S Bobs.
Okay.
Patterson means Sam.
Oh,
That would be
uh,
something. And then, like, even just the press tour of Patterson having to fucking do these things, like, just like, what do you mean? Like, the guy says Shazam. Like, we've joked about it already, but Patterson next to The Rock would just be so fun. But that's me.
yeah.
I don't see that. I think you would get this movie.
No.
I think the joke is like you get this movie, and then in Flashpoint they make it that Patterson is the new Batman for that
Yeah,
universe.
I think it's just too different of things to put together. It's like I don't know, putting ice cream and mac and cheese. They're good on their own, bad together.
Yeah.
Maybe one of them's not great on their own. Let's keep going.
Yep. Gordon,
Got the washer. Look at
get
those
ripped up.
scars.
Oh
See,
yeah.
hold on. Let's run this back right here. So this is like the exact same. This is probably like the same scene of that crime scene. Like he has the same hair,
Yes.
it's no
The
shirt or
lighting looks the
anything like that.
same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lighting looks the same. So there you go. It probably is Pattinson, unless this is another I don't know, red herring. And it's not actually
Daniel
Pattinson in
got
this
really
scene.
jacked for this role.
Dyes
For
his
the
hair halfway through the movie.
like, I don't want to make another Suicide Squad joke, but like it's like my least favorite thing when Jared Leto takes off his shirt and he like has a fucking 8-pack. It's like you're the Joker. Like it's like, oh, fuck off. Same thing. Like you're gonna be the Riddler. You're gonna wear the zipper mouth costume, but we also want you to put on 50 pounds of muscle. It's like it's not always needed. So
I feel like a part of me really wants to see just a jacked Paul Dano, what that looks
I
like.
do too now. He'll come back to the sequel. This shot, I
Oh,
don't know
that
what
shot.
it is, but I'm looking very forward to finding out what, like, he lights that light flare and it's just a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And there's Dano just punching a wall, but I don't know what's going on there. But
It reminds me of that scene in Aquaman, like with the trudge. What's it called?
the 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 trench.
The trench. There you go. That's
Yes.
exactly. It's like horizontal versus vertical.
Yeah.
He's ripped like an.
Well, that's how Joker was described in the Suicide Squad script that came out a few
Oh
weeks
yeah, I
or months
remember.
ago. Yeah, he's ripped like a fighter. That's my Joker, all right. Ripped like my Joker somewhere in a jail cell doing push-ups. Now, here's a shot right here. I'll say, because I've had this debate many times with many people. This is the definitive proof why we do not need the white slits for Batman. People have always argued that he should have those the whole time. No, you need to have his eyes going up. Always said that. I think in battle scenes you could have it like Iron Man's like hood where
Yeah,
it goes up and up.
yeah.
I could see like, okay, there's smoke, there's gunfire, eyes go. But like all the scenes like him looking longingly at Selena, whatever's going on here epically, if it was just white, you wouldn't have the same. It's the same reason why anytime like look at that scene in Civil War when Tony finds out about his parents, there's a reason the hood is up. Imagine if the Iron Man mask was on while he was reacting into Steve when he was just like, you knew about this, you knew about Bucky. No, like,
Just like the Iron Man mask,
yeah,
no
and
emotion.
that's what I mean. Like, you legitimately, you put that on in a comic book, it'll play differently, but in a
Yeah,
movie, you lose all of that greatness. So same thing with Pattinson.
That's
No, I never want their eyes to be unexposed. The eyes need to be
that's
there. So
that's such a big like thing for the movie makers, or sorry, that's what they're spending their money on, is that emotion
yes,
from the actors, right? It's just
you
like
want
a
to put a
mask.
white
I,
slit
I
over
could
it.
fucking play that scene. Like, come on.
100%. Yeah.
But
People
yeah,
have
no,
pointed
and,
out
and
like
then
yeah, what Clay's pointing out that the water
yeah.
lines they're making him cry, but maybe it's just emotional. We don't know. Maybe Catwoman just dumped him here.
Well, I'm excited to find out what the reason is. Like whether it's someone
Yeah.
that he knows dies, or if it's, I don't know, something to do with Selena Kyle, or maybe I don't know, maybe smelling some rank.
Alfred, this food isn't good. Lots of good shots here. Just
Dear
that's
God.
that line of Alfred just saying, "Dear God." I love that he's just screaming in his car. Colin Farrell, he just looks like he's gonna have so much fun here. And then yeah, we get
Oh
this
yeah,
great
he looks
shot.
so good.
Batmobile comes throughout the smoke and everything of the fire blowing up, and yeah, this great shot. I'm with some Twitter that I don't like people. They keep flipping it to make it him standing elsewhere. It's like
Yeah,
no,
I don't like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
the shot is better this way. It looks so cool, and like the
look at
way the Batman comes.
look at this. Like what is he's like he's carrying some C4s or something.
Oh yeah,
He's strapped. I want to know what that is. That's a
yeah.
serious pack. Maybe at
It's
the
gas.
canteen he
It's a
gets
big
a little
gas
thirsty.
tank for his Batmobile, Yeah,
Yeah.
leg belt. That's a massive fucking leg belt if it's a leg belt, but and then the Batman. So yeah, obviously there's go ahead. You were gonna say something?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, just the aesthetic of like the logo is just
Yes.
so like as if it was made in like some psycho serial killer's basement, and
Yes.
it's just I love the aesthetic that we get with the red and the zipper mask aesthetic. I'll call it. It's so good. Back grenades, fuck yeah, why not?
Non-lethal back grenades,
Yeah, not
hopefully,
lethal back
Yeah,
grenades.
they're just flashbangs, but yeah, I didn't plan us to talk for that long about the trailer, but it shows how much we love this trailer because there's all other
It's a good
thoughts.
breakdown.
But yeah, so there's other stuff like also we talked about. There's still talks. I think I didn't find it, but there's at one moment in this trailer, someone paused and they found like a journal, and it kind of fits that apparently because in the movie he's narrating, but it is like through a journal, so that fits. We've heard about 3 hours. Do you think it's gonna stay 3 hours? Because obviously 3 hours, that's a big ask. Like when Endgame was 3 hours, that was a big deal. We've never had a theatrical Batman that's 3 hours. So do you think that's gonna stick, or do you think that it will get shaved down a little bit?
I think it'll get shaved down a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't want it to because I mean,
No.
just from what I've seen this trailer, but I feel like just logistically, it I don't know. It's a tough ask to sell to the general audience a 3 hour movie.
Mhm.
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it'll be a good pace though.
Well, we're gonna take another ad break, and then we're gonna talk about a little Joker action. So we'll be right back. All right, and we're
30
not back.
seconds. It's funny. Taylor and I were, I mean, on our cast, we forgot to. He wasn't even thinking about it. I completely forgot about the 30-second ones until like this the second or third ad break. So I don't know if that gets lost. Like when we post it probably doesn't get. It's just for the Twitch, right?
It's just for the Twitch. Yeah, what do you mean for which ad break? It's for
Like
just Twitch, and then
like
when
if
YouTube, the ads go on there after too. They
yeah,
do separate.
I was just saying like when we go and it goes 30 seconds. Like it's not like if you're on Spotify, it's actually 30 seconds. Like
No,
it
I
gets
cut.
edited. Yeah,
I
exactly.
cut all this. I cut all this. So yeah, no, it's not just us 30 seconds doing nothing. So now we're back. This came down to 5 movies out. I don't think it's getting cut. Fanboy Clay says if it's getting good reception, I don't think it is, and I think that'll help it. So I would love it. It'll get 2 hour and a half hours, and we'll get the Reeves cut. I do not want any more release anything cuts, but you could be right. So, Joker. So that people have been talking about this all week because obviously he's not in this. And there's been a few things as far as there's some trending tweet I was going to bring it up, but we won't spend too much time because we talk a lot about the trailer. But it's this thing of you have the Joker, obviously very classic character, and there's two things. One was like, okay, who's Matt Reeves going to cast as a Joker? And there's all these tweets about like who it could be and stuff like that, what people are thinking. And then there's this another one that was going around to where it was like, oh, I can't wait till they meet, and it was Joaquin Phoenix and Robert Pattinson. And then there was somebody and DC Alliance, Clay and Trash, you can check it out. They talked about this. Hines was saying he really wanted this, and some people put this out there. I'm going to give you the three options, Kirkland. Also, we've seen two Batman trailers now. I want to ask where you are. So your three options are Matt Reeves goes and he casts a new Joker, his own Joker, and that's in this movie. Second option is they find a way. Phoenix's Joker, $1 billion Oscar-winning Joker, gets brought in, and it's Phoenix versus Pattinson, a great actor. Like those scenes alone would be a huge, just like that would, that's honestly to me, that's $1 billion movie right there. Those two on a poster together, that just prints money. Or the third option is, what if we get a Batman trilogy, a Batman series where there actually is no Joker? And Espoz, I'm going to talk about your Joker theory there, but what are those three options kind of tantalizing you right now as far as where we are with seeing all this marketing for Batman and whatnot?
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to be like a dicey take, but I think this is a pretty easy answer for me, and my answer is no Joker at all. In the trilogy,
Whoa!
yeah, because I love the Joker. It's not a feel good movie, but it's just so masterfully done. What I'm seeing of this Batman trailers and everything leading into it, like it looks like it's going to be similar quality, if not better. But I feel like any time that you take two like 100, let's just call them 100% movies, they're just like perfect movies in our eyes. Like like if you try and collab the two, you're just introducing possible problems, and maybe it'll take down the characters. And if you do that, I personally think that in some way, shape, or form, it kind of takes away from those like original pieces. And at least in my opinion, I don't know. What are you? Am I wrong here?
No, no, it's always risky. It's 100%
Yeah.
risky when you have, because that technically is, if you make Walking Phoenix a Batman villain, he's no longer the main character of
Hashtag Team
his own
Rangers.
story, right? And I've always said before, because I just absolutely hate the criticism of people go, well, Walking Phoenix Joker couldn't beat Patterson's Batman. Look at him. He's so weak in those movies. One, we have 80 what plus years of knowledge of Joker, always usually never being the physical threat to Batman. It's always he's a
Except in
fucking
Suicide Squad, he's
except
MMA
into
fighter.
built like an MMA fighter. Oh, I love it.
Tornado
But
kick to the head just decapitates
yeah,
Batman.
yeah. He's like doing arm bars and shit and coquina clutches. He's just like we get the same scene in the teaser trailer, but it's Phoenix's Joker just beating the fuck out of Batman. Like, but no, like he's always been like he's unpredictable, he's wild, he's a trickster, right? He's a trickster. Like that's how Joker beats him. But again, as I've always said with the Walking Phoenix movie, they set him up to be a Charles Manson figure where it would just be the people around him that are doing these things for him that would stop Batman. So you could easily do it, but for just connecting them, easily doing it the other way, it is tough because I don't know if they want to go down that route. I get the route of money because, like I said, if you imagine just the press tour of Walking Phoenix and Robert Pattinson together, just having those two in the movie, though, that's hard. Like if they came to you, Kirkland, and they said, "Hey, we have Phoenix and like Patterson signed on," like they both said they do it, they've signed off. It would be tough to turn that down because the Phoenix
Absolutely.
and Patterson combo together,
Yeah.
that would be
That's
that
a money
like
tree right there.
it's tough because I love Bale and Ledger, but that is on that same level, if not more, just because with Ledger he's fantastic, but we didn't have a whole movie, right? And Bale's Batman I really like, but so far what I'm seeing from Pattinson's Batman, I think it's gonna surpass it. So it's that actor combo, but it's tough. You could make it work. You make it
Yeah,
work.
but
There's risk, but
I think in more situations there's moments where it fails than succeeds. In my eyes, I think it's more likely to just not hit the threshold that we would be holding it to, just because we know like the caliber that it could be. Um, but I think what makes that Joker movie so special is like the path and the journey that Arthur Fleck takes of
Mhm.
becoming the Joker. And then if it's just him as the Joker, like I just don't, it's hard for me to see it at that same caliber because
But
it
remember, they'd be brothers in this continuity.
I don't know if that changes my opinion.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, we are talking about, like, kind of what would be his journey. Like, imagine if there was a way they would play that up to, like, he finds out that his brother is this fucking huge big bat signal now, and it's like, oh, this is interesting and whatnot. Like, it's interesting because he is a Joker without a Batman. So I don't know if they go down that route. I still say that Matt Reeves will cast a Joker. I think if you were to ask me, I would say what I would want is I actually would want the trilogy with no Joker, but I would need a guarantee that we're gonna get more than the trilogy because like that's what I want. I'd love if we did a whole first trilogy of different villains, everything like that. Like Batman has so many rogues we still have not seen yet. I would love it, but it's so tough because, like I've said before, I feel like every director has a Batman Joker story, and so far, if what I've seen with Matt Reeves and what he's done with these trailers, if you tell me he's going to do some of the Joker, I'm going to go, okay, he's going to do something really good, you know, even though I don't know if I need like another dark Joker, but I think he will cast somebody, and who he's cast, I don't know, because if you look at this, other than Andy Serkis, all these people he hasn't worked with before. It's not like he plucked like a bunch of people from, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Nolan does it, Zack Snyder does, like previous Batman directors, but he didn't pluck a bunch of people from his Apes or other movies or Cloverfield or whatnot. Other than Circus, I don't think he's worked with any of these actors and actresses before. So that's why I don't think there's like a line we could draw to be like, hey, who could be
Yeah.
who could be this S Bob's Joker was the author of all his pain. I don't want that. I don't want no authors of pain going on. But if it is gonna happen, I hope it happens in the third one. That's what I want. It could be like your
Yeah.
finale or whatnot. And so S-Bub's your theory of, and I've actually not heard this. So either you're very clever or you stole from somewhere, you dirty rascal. But this theory of he took him down in year one, and that's where the Joker's not a problem because he's just already gone, and that's what these goons are. I would like that, but the problem is if you set that up, if you set up, oh, he took down the Joker, you you make people anticipate that that character will come back, which I actually would like. I would like if
Hmm.
he beat him in year one, and then in the third movie he comes back as like a Joker that has like all like whatever. No, he doesn't need his funky gadgets, but just like he's like evolved, like he's a more dangerous guy. He's not just a street criminal now. But I
Yeah.
think that is clever. It is explains why they have that Joker type face. But again, I think if you set that up, people anticipated. I guess you could just say he died, and okay, but I don't know if anyone would believe that too with the Joker. You know, like you'd be like, oh, he'll just come
Yeah.
back. You know,
Yeah. No, it's a fun idea, but like you said, I think it's just yeah. um, like it's a fun idea, but I think exactly what you said. It's just I personally would be expecting him to come back, or even just like Batman goes visits him in Arkham, and it's like a Silence of the Lambs type situation where you can have some good dialogue between the two. But I don't know. I'm totally okay if they just go some other route. Maybe I don't know. Would you like it if they like hinted towards something the Joker related and they don't dive fully into the character?
uh,
I don't even think you have to though. Like just don't even incorporate them. I don't know.
no, like I don't think you have to hint towards him. Like I think the Joker is such a anomaly that you can just drop him in any story and he's there. Like we've
Yeah.
seen it, like the first Batman Keaton, he was just a villain. In Nolan, before post credits was a thing, I still think Nolan's like created one of the greatest comic book endings of all time of Gordon giving Batman that card and just like I want you looking at something. And when he turns as a Joker card, it's like fuck, like I don't know if you can ever top that. You know, like that's a prime way to introduce the
Yeah.
Joker. So I would just like that if he just drops in, you know, I don't know. What I would actually love if they because I don't know, again, like in your opinion though, is the Joker just going to be a painted up guy in this universe, or would he have the chemicals? I feel like he's just going to be a painted up guy again. So
Painted up guy.
I
Yeah.
don't think there's any origin where he knocks them in the chemicals, because I say that's the way you could do it. I'd love if they hired a famous actor and they hit it and he just played some suck like some goon on the side. And if he got knocked in the chemicals and you're like, oh shit, like if they didn't even announce this
Right.
person was in a movie, that would be hype. That's how I'd love them to introduce it, is you introduce an actor, he's just in the background, like the same way. Okay, minor spoiler for the Prestige, you have Christian Bale's character, and then you have his assistant. And there's a big twist of who plays that assistant. I'm not saying you need to do that, but same way you could take a famous actor and hide them with prosthetics or something. And then when that flip happens, you're like, oh shit, they got
Yeah.
Evan Peters, who's my pick to play the Joker. He's the Joker, not fucking Ralph Boner. Leave the MCU. They ruined you. They ruined you, my boy. Go play the Joker, you know? But that's what I would like.
Yeah, that'd be genius. And it's like we've already seen Colin Farrell hidden under prosthetics. Like I
Yeah.
know it's Colin Farrell and I still can't see Colin Farrell in those scenes because it's just so well done and they could easily do that and that would just be I would have to tip my hat off to them like if they did that route because it's pretty bold, honestly, to do something like that of completely and like just the logistics of like keeping it secret.
Mhm.
I feel
Yeah.
like that would be
It's tough.
tough, but if they manage to pull it off, and then that would be such a gasp moment. And then unfortunately, I'd have to say Travis told me.
Yeah, well, I'm not making that as a prediction, you know. And like
Yeah,
I guess I should walk that back, because when I gave you the three options, my want is like I'm a sucker for it. I would want the Phoenix thing, because I think I would love just to see him play off a Batman, because you would give him, because in the Arthur Fleck Joker world, it feels like he would kind of run game. So the fact of like, and that would fit as Bub's theory though, if it was a guy that used to be around. Imagine if that Joker is just locked up for years and years, and when he breaks out, there's a Batman like figure. And I just would love to see Phoenix with that opportunity to see like what he could do versus somebody in a role. And I just think you would just, it's just those scenes of them together. That would be quite explanation. So the explosion in the trailer was one setting up the chemical blowing up someone to fall in the chemicals. Yeah, there you go, right there. Somebody's fall off the side, and
That
do you have
that is a
anybody that you're itching to? Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say what you're kind of pitching there, how Arthur Fleck at the end of his movie, he is in prison, but
Yeah,
like
he's incarcerated.
he's still just knocked down the dominoes, and like just the after effect of what he started could easily just play into like this world that Batman's in.
Mm-hmm.
Um it would be kind of fun and interesting of having, like, I don't even want to call him a lower level criminal Joker, like, because he's not like a crime boss at all, like in his movie. It's just the idea of what he is, and he's just so the Joker down to his bones.
Mm-hmm.
It would be an interesting dynamic between those two. So I think I'm interested in it. Part of me is just like, let's just leave it alone and see see where Pattinson's Batman takes us. But I don't know. I think I'd be lying if I didn't say there was some little interest in seeing the two of them on screen together, because they're both just such phenomenal actors. And anytime that you can have two high level caliber actors on screen together, especially in these type of roles where it's like literally the Batman and the Joker that have just such a notorious history to them. Um, it's yeah, I feel like many people would be lying to themselves. They said they don't want to see that.
Well, and here's the litmus test. There's some people, and I know fanboy Clay would say no, but and there's a camp of that. I think it's a small camp, Clay, but like there is a camp that if you were to wake up tomorrow and you were to see Walking Phoenix confirmed for the Batman 2, you'd get a little excited. You'd get that anytime you get that like oh shit
Yeah.
moment. It does any continuity, any of your thoughts like I don't know if we need a Joker. The second you would see that headline, you'd be like fuck, like he's gonna be like Batman movie. Like what are they gonna do? So as Bob says, what the title be? I think it wouldn't be a. I don't think it would be a Joker movie. I think the way they'd use Joaquin Phoenix, and I know as Bubs, you made your joke in the chat, but I think it'd be similar how the Bond villains have been used in the Daniel Craig era. Of he would be in the movie very little, but it would be his impact and stuff. And again, like you said, he's not a mob boss, but that's how I pitched at the end of that movie. He has like fucking like hundreds of people just falling like the Joker there. They save him from a cop car. Like they do all this shit. Like he has followers. That's why I always say he's the Charles Manson Joker of like, it doesn't matter. He's not a rich guy. He's not a powerful guy. Look at Charles Manson. He looks like a crazy, ugly motherfucker, but there's people that literally would kill or die for him. And that's what they
Hmm.
kind of set up Phoenix's Joker. So you don't need mob bosses. You just need, he has hundreds and thousands of people in Gotham that would just like kill for Walking Phoenix's Joker. They would fuck up the
Yeah.
Batman. And maybe that's what those criminals could be, in the alleys and whatnot. But
Yeah. Exactly.
do you have any thoughts out there of who you're itching? Any actor you look at, like, put some makeup on him, put some hair, green hair?
Um, not really. If I
I'm
had to
gonna read
pick
you some.
someone, it would be Evan Peters. I think that is actually such a
Oh,
perfect
he's
casting.
still my
So,
pick. I'm gonna
well, yeah,
read you this
I'm
tweet
giving
that
you
was.
praise. Come on, just take
It
the
would be a
compliment.
good pick. It would be a good pick. I'm gonna give you this list of ones that people are talking about. This was this trending tweet. James Marsden. No, thank you. These are just people like throwing it out
I'm gonna have
there.
to like Google these people.
Guy
Jeez.
from Sonic.
Oh,
Uh, Cyclops.
Joker.
Yeah.
Who said that?
It only got 4 likes, so it's not a big thing. Here, because I'm just reading like this trending tweet below it. People, of course, suggest the guy from Gotham. No, I don't want that'd be too similar. I would be so down for this, and it doesn't have to be her. Someone put Tilda Swinton. I would be so down for a female Joker, especially if we got a full trilogy of Selena being like the love interest and whatnot, and then you have a female Joker on the other side. And I think that would actually make it a little difference if you had Walking Phoenix, if we get Joker 2, and it was a female Joker. Like Joker's already obsessed slash in love with Batman. I don't think there'll
Well,
be a Harley Quinn in this movie. So I'm ready for a female Joker. I think we'd have tons of fun with that.
I think that would be lots of fun, and also I think it would really throw everyone off, because like if you have
Yes.
someone that like gets knocked into the chemicals, you're like, oh well, I roll. I think that's gonna be Joker. But if it's just
Yeah.
like they don't even necessarily do the chemicals thing, it's just someone has some similar traits to the Joker, but like don't make it obvious, especially if it's a female. I feel like everyone's like, well, she kind of seems like maybe a Harley Quinn type character, but if they actually went that route and made her the Joker, I am all for that. I think part of me honestly prefers that over the Joaquin one, and just because it would be
Ooh.
something so fresh and so new, and then it wouldn't run the possibility of bringing down the Joaquin Joker.
We should next year we should do a Joker draft because when the Reeves when we didn't cast Joker as Walking Phoenix, but we should have like a fan cast, whatever fan draft, and we should have like five males but five females as well. I think that'd be
That'd
fun
be
of us trying to
fun.
sit
Yeah,
around and think. Batman literally falls in love with Joker this time. Absolutely, you know you could do that.
he
People
becomes
always
Harley
said,
Quinn.
yeah, oh god, Pattison with the hair and everything, but like Vanessa Kirby would be outstanding.
She
Clay,
would be phenomenal.
that
Yeah.
would be great, and especially how long her hair is. Like, that's what I want. Like, that's one thing I did like about Leo's Joker and the Snyder Cut, like how long his hair was with green. It's like it's such a cool aesthetic. But like, imagine you're getting a girl with like that long hair and it's curly and green. Like, oh man, like that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be a good one. People suggest this all the time. I don't think he'll do it. I get why. Jake Gyllenhaal, that had tons of like that, over thousands. One, I just don't think he'd do it. He's already Mysterio, but I think legit, if you look into it, he was very close friends with Heath Ledger. I just don't I don't see it. It's the same way there
Yeah.
was rumors that Sean Penn was talked about for Dark Knight. He said he would never do it because Jack Nicholson did, and they're really good friends. I just don't, especially as Heath passed away. I don't. I just
Hmm.
don't see him taking it. I really
No,
don't. You
I
know.
don't think. I think he scratched his superhero itch with Mysterio. So
Great, which I like enough.
what do you mean
People,
great? What's this
I like
comment for?
I like Mysterio. I just thought we are gonna get a lot more with him. You
Well,
know, if
obviously, but like, do you think Jake Gyllenhaal is still like, oh, I still want to be a better superhero? I feel
no, I
like,
think that
okay,
was a
I
bit.
dipped my
No,
toes and that was fun. So
I think he had, to be honest, I feel like that was a payday movie for him. I think he didn't phone it in, but
really,
I think that was a, hey, Jake, let's get your name back out there to get a really big movie. You'll make a lot of money. Say la vie. You know, like to me, if you look at Michael Keaton in the Spider-Man movie as a villain, then you look at Jake Gyllenhaal, they're not even the same fucking ballpark as far as
yeah, but they're
acting.
playing way different type of characters.
They
Like
are, but
Jake
I just
Gyllenhaal is like super, like just like what would you call him as? Like he's kind of like a producer or something. Like he's just super the morning show type person, like
But to me,
running that show.
it's like the Mad Mikkelsen and Caecilius thing where you have such a high quality actor, save him for that role when it is like something really
Okay.
neat. And to me, I feel like Gyllenhaal got that. He's like, oh yeah, I could do this in a couple weeks. This will be fun. I almost played Spider-Man, so there's some fun stuff there. I'll play Mysterio. Here we go. Like, I don't think they gave him a role that really challenged Jake Gyllenhaal as an actor to be like,
Oh, for
man,
sure.
this
Yeah.
pushed him forward, you know. People always throw this out. I don't think it's too on the nose. This is typecasting, Clay, if you want to know. Bill Skarsgård, I think because he played Pennywise, it's just you just don't do it. I just don't think you do it. Throw out some loves. Some people throw out Penn Badgley. No, I don't. I like him as Joe, but I
He's a
don't
good,
know.
yeah. He's a good stalker, not a good Joker.
Yeah. This isn't the worst one. You'd have to look him up, but you'd recognize him right away. Is David Dastmalchian. He plays Polka Dot Man, Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah.
He plays Art in Ant-Man.
Yeah.
He would be really good. He's a good character actor. Lots of likes for people saying Phoenix. This is the one I want. And I can't remember. I think it was both Greg and oh damn it. Clay just said it in the chat. Um Everyone wants Defoe as Joker. That is a typecast. That's not a typecast, Clay. You don't know what typecast is. He's never played a joke. He's never played a clown. Like a typecast is Bill Skarsgård, where he played Pennywise, and then like just because he's played a villain, I don't know. Like I don't like. Yeah, he's played Goblin, but Goblin and Joker are very different, in my opinion. Joker is like a controlled madness, where Goblin, you got the norm, whatever dynamic. I pitched years ago when the Batman was happening, and I think Greg and Nathan from SES were not a fan. I think an older Joker would be great because we've not gone that. Jack kind of played an older Joker, but I think that'd be a fun dynamic. That's where I think Walking Phoenix worked as well. I think having an older Joker would be great, and you could play that like you got the young upstart in Batman, and you got this older guy. And come on, Defoe was the Joker. Fuck man, like that would
I
be
Yeah,
special.
I've seen some fun fan art of like people like basically putting the makeup on him and
Lighthouse
everything.
reunion.
Oh my gosh, yeah, they have like very similar type dialogue scenes. Hark!
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't write it off because I am such a fanboy of Willem Dafoe. He is just so phenomenal, and I think I think if they were brave and wanted to do a really different take on Joker and make him an old man, I'm not saying Willem Dafoe's an old man. He's he's getting up
Just
there, but
older. Yeah.
older. But I think that would be a fun one. But I don't know.
Yeah, and then
Would he be down for that?
no, I don't think so. I
Yeah.
think at the same time, he's about to maybe play fucking Green Goblin again in the movie, which looks like it. And I thought he was past that too. So I think I actually do think Defoe, though, if you're asking me, I think he would say no, but he'd still read a script. And if the script was good enough, he might say yes, you know?
Yeah.
And it would be fun full circle because he was one of the contenders back in 89 with
Oh,
Nicholson and
really?
everything. So that would be
Interesting.
kind of fun. So I once saw someone saying Macaulay Culkin for the Joker, LOL. I would not want that, but I will say one thing again. I've said this a few times. Watch American Horror Story this last season. You don't have to because the show can sometimes be meh. Macaulay Culkin still has it. He's really, really good in this show. He could act, and I was surprised, but no, I wouldn't want that. The last two I've seen that were like got the most likes here was Adam Driver. I just think Adam Driver's done with franchises. I just don't. I don't see him doing anything at least for a long time. And if he is, does he want to play a villain again? You know, like does he want to become like Javier and Christoph Waltz, where they're just
I don't.
playing? You know, he's in
Yeah,
Last Duel. He's a villain again. Like I
I
don't
was
know if he
gonna
wants to do
say.
this.
I don't think he would want to do that.
And Bill Hader. I don't know if he had. I love Bill Hader. He's a dramatic actor. I want him to be Mr. Fantastic. I think he could do a role. I don't know if he could be in this creative one, but knowing Matt Reeves, in my opinion, he will pick someone like Paul Dano that on the general audience is not a sexy pick, but for us, we go, fuck, that's a really good pick.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be a name. Like Paul Dano's not a name. Our parents don't know who Paul Dano is. You know,
Yeah.
there's so many
Fair
people
enough.
in podcasts. I feel like I saw him in, Prisoners, and that's
Little
it.
Miss Sunshine.
Yeah, it's like this guy has such a huge filmography, and he's an outstanding actor. No one's seen him, so and I'd be down if you go and get someone that's lower tier that like most people don't know. Great, because after this movie, Paul Dano's gonna be a fucking star. People are gonna know who Paul
Yeah.
Dano is after this. So
Yeah. If they didn't know him after Swiss Army Man, then they'll know him for this.
classic.
Well, Woody
Ra-
Harrelson.
Radcliffe. Yeah, no, I'll take Radcliffe over fucking Woody Harrelson. I like talk about someone phoning it in with Jake Gyllenhaal. I don't think Jake Gyllenhaal phoned it in. I just think it was kind of like a layup for him. Woody phoned in Carnage 1,000,000%. So yeah. All
Uh,
right. Well, let's talk about some other stories. We'll maybe be a little quicker because we fucking just we devour
that was
Batman
a
content.
Batman episode. Yeah.
I'm prepping you all now. Our review for the Batman, that's gonna be a fucking long episode. I can tell you already.
I'll bring a sleeping bag. We can have a nap halfway through.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about a little more DC news. Birds of Prey sequel greenlit, but there's going to be a little switcheroo. Kirkland Patzer.
Yeah.
It is rumored that they're dropping Harley Quinn, and it's going to be replaced by Batgirl. Now, obviously, not in the same role, but Harley Quinn is not supposed to be in this movie. It's not said if this is a theatrical HBO Max movie, but they've said that Black Canary is supposed to return. The other ones are obviously probably supposed to return as well. And then Batgirl, because she's been joined with the Birds of Prey at times, she's going to cross over. There's even right now, apparently, like one of the plot leads is the villain is a guy named the Calculator, which I've not read that much, but apparently he gets obsessed with Batgirl. So people are all like saying, oh, it makes a lot of sense. So, one, how do you feel about Birds of Prey 2? Well, actually, let's just go. I got like 4 questions. So, start with that. How do you feel about Birds of Prey 2?
All
Kirkland
for it.
Patzer.
I want more. I love the first.
Mm-hmm. And how do you feel about without Harley Quinn?
Tough pill to swallow, I think, especially since the subtitle of the first movie was what the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley or
Yes.
whatever
Yeah.
it was.
You had it. Yeah.
Tongue twister. I screwed up on her name. That's the easiest part. But so again, I feel like initially I'm hesitant. I kind of have like a barrier up, but it's a weak barrier. But then when you're just describing like what was his name, the calculator,
The
and him
Calculator.
being like obsessed with Batgirl, if it fits the plot and what they're going with script wise, I'm not going to be against it. If it's a good overall story with all of the members and like just I don't know, it's a good collection of gals, then I think I'll be all for it. I think it's just it's like I'm willing to take the medicine, but it's like it just tastes bad without Harley Quinn. So I know it's good for me because I'm going to be getting a good second movie, but I still want Harley, especially with just how amazing Margot is at that role, right?
Well, it's interesting because I was going to ask you about Batgirl, but you already talked about that in your description there. And Asbub says, I only recently saw Birds of Prey. I thought it was pretty good, but the GA will want Harley. I've said this on the Suicide Squad review or the episode after in the box office was meh or meh. I don't know what meh was, but
Yeah.
I I don't know if the GA wants Harley, to be honest, because we had Birds of Prey, which yeah, COVID affected like a little bit, but that movie was doing just fine, not great, but fine before COVID hit. Then you have Suicide Squad, which I also think that has to do with the sequel or like the sequel to being a sequel to a very bad movie and stuff like that. But I don't like. I always thought Harley Quinn was going to be like the next Deadpool, where you slap her in anything, people are going to come out. That's not
Yeah.
the case so far. And yes, you can say, she was rated R in those movies, PG-13, and Harley Quinn. I get that. Suicide Squad. I get that. I get the girl demographic, everything like that. But still, she's still not a massive draw like a Deadpool was. So I think we'll see her again. I just don't know where. I've said this before. I think the play for Harley is the Gotham City Sirens movie. I do think pairing her with Poison Ivy is the way to go. It's very popular right now. I
Yeah.
think, especially with like female empowerment, you can hit the LGBTQT community and then all that jazz. Like, I think that works. You could add a Catwoman. I'm not sure if it would be that one. And then guess what? Eventually, you do Gotham City and Birds of Prey. I think though this film, I'm all for it. I did like those characters enough that I want to see more. Some of them I really liked. And I'm very excited by I think Black Canary is getting a series, I think it is, that we talked about a while back ago. So I'm excited by that. I do think this movie though will be strictly HBO Max because that first movie didn't do the greatest. And if
Yeah.
Batgirl's going to be on the team, she's already getting an HBO Max movie. And that works for me. I will be excited and I'll be interested and I'm definitely excited for the Batgirl movie. And I think once that comes out and we get that Black Canary series, I think my hype will get even more so. And I love it. Birds of Prey is my favorite DCU movie. I definitely want Kathy and the director back though. That's a big thing for me, or the
Yeah.
writers too. Like I liked the style, so I'm all for it. I think we will see Harley at least one more time. Like, where do you think we're seeing it? Do you think Gotham City Sirens is a good bet, or do you think they've always talked about doing like a Joker versus Harley movie, or do you think it's somewhere else we could see Margot down the line?
Um, I don't know specifically where I'd put her. I think if what's that game of craps where you can like choose a number or just choose like a color? I feel like I'm gonna go the easy route and just choose a color. Say that she's
Mhm.
gonna be back probably for one of the big collab movies. Um,
Plays on
ju-
my idea of the Sirens versus Birds of Prey. I think that's the way to
yeah,
go. I
yeah,
think
that
that
that's
is,
probably
yeah.
it. That's probably the win there. I feel like a Harley versus Joker movie. I don't know, like who would you choose to be the Joker? You'd have to cast someone new, I
No,
would
we know who
imagine.
would be the Joker. It'd be Leto. Right?
Then
It'd be
no,
the
I don't want
MMA
that.
fighter.
I
Yeah,
don't.
exactly. That's the problem. Like on paper, the Joker and Harley. Like I've always said this, where her her story trajectory, it should be leading to her going squaring off against the Joker. Like it makes sense with
Yeah.
Birds of Prey. Like she's moved past him. It's just the problem of like for us and some of our fan base, that's that Joker. Like that's like
Very well
here's the
said.
question for you. They come to you, Kirkland Pass. They say, okay, we've done Joker 2, another big hit, $1 billion movie. We're either gonna put
Is that
Phoenix.
Joaquin?
Yeah,
Sorry, is that
yeah,
Joaquin in
yeah.
this? Okay.
Walking's, yeah, not Leto. No, we're gonna do Leto. Thinks he's gonna make some billion
Billion
dollar.
dollar movie.
Yeah, let's see how Morbius does first. All right, but they come to you and they say we're gonna put Phoenix in one of these movies, either the Batman 2 or Harley versus Joker, and he's the fucking Joker with Harley. Which one do you go?
Batman 2.
That's the right answer.
Yeah.
Because yeah,
uh,
I just don't. I I think he changed some things enough in Snyder Cut that there was some stuff where like, oh yeah, that's fine. But again, I don't know if I need an hour and a half, 2 hour movie of Jared Leto's Joker. I really don't think
no.
that's yeah.
It'd be one of those where I'm just like checking my watch probably and like this is lengthy. Yeah, that is a great statement from S
Most
Bubs.
DCU movies sound better on paper, and they do, and then you get the execution in mass. So, and then the last thing he shot out, which is 100% true, the Ivy casting will be very important. 100%. And like I've said before, I think they have the clearest, easiest casting in the world that's sitting right there. Lady Gaga as Poison Ivy. It's for the taking. Do it
Oh,
up
can you
again. I
imagine Lady Gaga and
yes.
Margot on screen
Yeah,
together? Oh,
talk about like Pattison and Phoenix, Robbie and Gaga, like
oh,
those posters, that promotion tour, man, that has money all over it. Gaga
yeah,
would get her fans all over it. Yeah, I would be so down for it.
absolutely. I really like that casting pick.
And you don't got to get Emma. You don't got to get like a redhead. But I also think like getting someone like Emma Stone, like
You muted your mic there, sir. I don't know what happened there. I thought it was on my end. Sorry. Technical difficulties. Gaga on the soundtrack, S Bubs. Like
yeah,
original song. There you go.
I think you do. I know lots of people throw out names, and it's like I don't know, like even people throw like, oh, Alexandra Daddario or Natalie Dormer. I think you got to get like another A tier actress. I think you got to get someone
Yeah.
that's a name. That's what it's like. I don't know if she would be the best, but you
Vanessa
need someone like
Kirby.
Vanessa Kirby, yeah, and Emma Stone, like someone like that,
Yeah.
where it's like you want to see Robbie with so and so. You don't need a new star. You want to see these two actors just together. So yeah, I'm excited for all that stuff. So let's take
I,
another ad break, and then we got some more news to talk about. We'll be right back.
what'd you do there? Did you
Oh,
unplug something?
yeah, I just unplugged my cord. I like reached and it just unplugged. So
It happened so suddenly. I'm like, oh my god, I pulled my headphones out. And then all of a sudden it went like the little like mic, the mic mute
yeah,
button on your thing. So
it's nice. It gives you that little update of like, hey, what's going on here? So
yeah.
all right, we got Marvel and then we got Bond rankings, and Marvel won't be that long, and Bond we
No,
can
yeah.
speed
We
through.
started
So
with the big one for sure.
it went bigger than I thought, but there's lots
Good
to.
discussion.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Honestly, probably could have gone longer. Could have went
Oh yeah.
frame by frame.
We'll bust it out anytime we don't have a topic. Like, let's talk about the Batman again.
Yeah, I just want to pull
Uh,
back this scene.
yeah, yeah. We're back. Let's talk a little MCU. So MCU took a hit this week. We had a bunch of delays. Almost every movie was delayed by 2 months. So now Doctor Strange, which was, I'm not going to go down the whole thing. I'm just doing Doctor Strange because it's the most recent coming up. We have Eternals, that's fine. Spider-Man, that's fine. But Doctor Strange was originally the same month as the Batman in March, but now it's in May. So we've got a bunch of delays, but I guess like it hurts. But at the same time, they're only like 2 months apart, and plus we've gone much worse delays. Like I feel like we're gonna survive, you know. So
Oh yeah.
it sucks, but like okay, March for
Well,
May, like I'll
yeah,
be
we're
watching the Batman over and over again in March, you know. So it's
we're
fine.
we're in the era of just like movie delays, so I'm
Yeah,
pretty used to them. And two
they're like
months over
games
two
now.
years, like doesn't seem that bad. Yeah.
Yeah. And then some other rumors of that apparently I can't remember. I think it was Casey Walsh may put out. So like a C high C plus. Yeah, I'd say C plus scooper, maybe somewhere in that route. He had put out that the rumor production date for Fantastic Four and Nova are 2023. So we might be getting Nova and Fantastic Four in 2024, which okay, that'd be kind of fun. You get lots of marketing opportunities there with the fours and everything like
Yeah.
that. So I feel like that seems about right. Like they announced Fantastic Four, but they never gave a date. And that would mean if it's starting production 2023, we might get our casting next year, which is going to be really fun. So, 3 year, what are we, 2021? So about 3-ish years away. You ready for some Fantastic Four in that time? And Nova, I'm not a fan of Nova. I don't know if you know much about the Nick character, but those are the two kind of rumored movies to be going in production in a couple of years now. And I think the timeline for F4 makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. The Fantastic Four thing, I think it totally makes sense. Nova, I very, very, very little. Like that's the Nova Core, right?
Yeah.
Same type of yeah. So very surface level knowledge on that character. So not really scratching at the door for that one.
Mm-hmm. S Bubs is right. The dream 4-4 or yeah, 4-4 and 24 is like the date. Yeah, 100%. You got to go for that.
Yeah,
You got to try and find that day. But the only
yeah.
thing is that day, S Bubs, you can check because I'm doing a live podcast. Is that day on a Friday? That's the problem, right? If it is,
A
that's like,
Monday.
yeah, we're releasing it's just like the same way where like whenever they make a Friday the 13th movie, the release date just depends like when Friday the 13th is. It's kind of funny, but and then another rumor that's been going around is so this got put out today, and it's like I say this is C tier, but like some people that are higher tiers of scoopers kind of not backed it, but like liked it and like shared it around a little bit. So it's like, okay, might have some endorsements. But so this was a rumor a few months or I guess maybe a year ago now that it was talked about that Marvel has quietly got the rights back, the distribution rights to a Hulk film. And there's been talks
Who
about
had
doing a
them?
Hulk film. It was Universal. They had some sort of deal with them. So the deal
Oh,
is they
okay.
couldn't make a Hulk movie without having to put it through Universal and distribute it. So there's been no official that those rights are back. Not many big tier scoopers have talked about, but there's been like mumblings about it. So this guy put out a rumor, and who knows? Because this is one of those rumors I feel like in a week it could be debunked. Like, oh well, fuck. But he put out that they are working on a World War Hulk movie, and this is a movie where. So obviously in Ragnarok, we got this plot line of he went to Sakaar, right? In the comics, the Illuminati, some stuff happens, and that's a bunch of Illuminati, sorry, not Illuminati. That's that fucking site. The Illuminati in the MCU, which is like, Doctor Strange, Tony Stark, Professor X, like a bunch of smart guys. They decide the Hulk's too dangerous. So they put him in the rocket and they shoot him up to Sakaar. He makes his life there. Sakaar gets destroyed and he thinks it's these guys again. So his mission is he's going to come back to Earth and just fuck up all these people. And he's super angry. So that is apparently the pitch. I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it would be She-Hulk. I don't know if it's a team up. So what does that store one, are you interested in a solo Hulk film if they can do that? And two, does that synopsis interest you at all?
It's definitely interesting. I yeah, I think I would like a solo Hulk film. But part of me, it would depend on like where we are with the Hulk.
Yes.
Just with how that end credit scene was in Shang-Chi, and
Spoilers.
it's been out for a couple months now, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's the rule. If it's been out for
I
a
I
month,
I
you can apparently in my fucking Geek First chat, because Squid Game's been out for a month, they can just spoil everything. Even though I've been like, hey, I'm gonna
didn't
watch it.
spoil everything.
No, but you guys are
I
talking about
spoil
plot points. You guys are dropping memes about the
No, I
show.
was talking about like some of
Yes.
the games that they had to do. That's not
Yeah,
really
well,
spoilery,
fine. You're
maybe
adding
a
fuel
little.
to the fire. Jessica and Taylor bet. Like, I literally said, "Oh, I'll watch at some point." I'm just literally watching every season of Dexter right now to make content for our podcast. And they're like, "Oh, you haven't seen Squid Game? You don't have the time. Here's a meme that spoils this character dies." It's like, okay, fuck. I may as well not watch the show now.
Uh,
So, and then Jessica dropped this. She was like, "Well, it's been out for a month." So, oh man, when Jessica's busy with her baby and Taylor's busy with his life, and they can't see certain movies a month. Oh fuck, I'm gonna spoil the
oh yeah.
shit out of Eternals. I'm gonna jizz Eternal spoilers all over that chat. Like those end credit scenes that people are saying they're massive. Oh, I'm gonna post them all over those memes. I can't fucking wait. And I'll be like, it's been out for a month. It's been out for a month. Assholes.
Oh
God.
yeah. So
Exactly,
what was
Clay.
I
And
even
I
saying?
called them out. Kirkland, Jessica, and Taylor have all seen Squid
I
Game,
watched
and
it
they didn't
way later than them, to be
3 weeks
fair.
later, still, evergreen content put on Patreon, and they did not review it. I am watching almost 100 episodes of Dexter, and there is a Dexter retrospective every fucking week. Again, I am the backbone of this fucking podcast. That person on the survey that said they want to see less of Travis's face, you see less of my face, and the well goes dry, motherfucker.
Well, there you
But
go. We gotta wait for the backbone of the podcast to review Squid Game there,
yeah,
fanboy Clay.
maybe we'll do a retro before season 2 comes out. I'll catch up on it, and we'll put up a retro right before it comes out. God damn. Unless you live in Australia, then sorry for spoilers. Yeah, they kind of get fucked over. Yeah.
Why? What's the thing with Australia? They just get late releases, or because of time change, or what?
Well, unless you live in Australia, then sorry for spoilers. Well, I think because it's combo. Sometimes they see it later, but sometimes they see it earlier. Like Kyle's always seeing movies earlier. So
Oh,
I
I
think it's
see.
one of those things. Like,
Right.
it's not spoilers for them, but
I see.
yeah.
Yes, they're on the upside down. They're in the upside down world. What the hell were we even talking about? Oh yeah, the
Do you
the
want
Hulk
more? Do you
solo
want a
movie.
Hulk film?
Yeah. So depending
Should
on
Hulk join
where,
the Squid Game cast?
well, because of where he left off in Shang-Chi. No,
Yeah, that's how.
so
Yeah.
yeah, like I need to know where they're going with the character before I just completely put my stamp of approval. I think not that my stamp really has much sway in the Kevin Feige boardroom, but
I heard what you did with Walking Phoenix's Joker. We want you to decide what's next for Hulk.
so I am interested, especially it's kind of funny how Hulk like 2000 like his movie wasn't before Iron Man, was it?
Oh shit, there's your answer about Australia. COVID delays tons of movies November, December. Shang-Chi hasn't been released there yet, I believe. Fuck.
Oh, okay. Sorry for spoilers, Kyle, if you're listening.
Yeah. Hulk. No, so when Iron Man and then Incredible Hulk, and then we never see Incredible Hulk again till Avengers, and he was played by not Edward Norton.
Okay, yes. So
Yeah.
then he just became like the collab guy. He was just a part of
Yeah.
like the someone else's movies. He was tagging along. And I always liked him in that role. I feel like I don't know, maybe it's because I'm not the biggest Hulk fan. I wasn't really like itching for that solo Hulk movie. But I don't know if it's an interesting plot like that that's just so wild and different than what we've seen before. I think I'm for it. I'm just a glutton for content. So like it doesn't
Mhm.
matter what it is. If it allows us to review and talk about it and have a fun discussion, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I'll bring this up because I'm kind of the same mindset as Clay, where he says World War Hulk was played on with Ragnarok, kind of, and it kind of feels similar. Where okay, Civil War's coming up. Oh, we just got the rights back to Spider-Man. Oh, just fuck them, shoving them in there, and I'm happy they did it. But at the time, it was like in Civil War, he has such a big story and he takes off his mask and stuff. And it's just like we didn't play any of that with Spider-Man. And I feel like this is the same case where they did Ragnarok and some other World War Hulk stuff because like, oh well, we're never gonna make a solo Hulk film, so let's just put him in this. And then it's like, well, you've kind of done some of those stories already now. And I just don't know in this point because, and I don't know who said, oh, S Bubs, because S Bubs just knows every fucking person in the town. Tell us who's playing the Joker, S Bubs. Tell us. But supposedly She Hulk will set up why World War Hulk will happen. And that's where I thought, is there a chance? Well, I don't think that would work because I was going to say, is she in place of is she the one that comes back to fuck up these people, right? Because like maybe they just kind of take the storyline and put her in it. But the whole point of her is like Jennifer Walters, like she can control her Hulkness. So it's just like that would defeat the purpose of that character. And it'll be interesting because, yeah, spoilers. Shang-Chi, he's back to being Bruce, right? So I
mhm.
just don't know when you pitch, okay, at some point, Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is going to want to come after some of our Avengers in a Civil War type of movie. I don't see it, and I also don't know if I want that, right? Like with this Hulk and what he's been through, I just don't buy it unless they get to a point where they somehow make Hulk a complete rage monster again, where like nothing will stop him. And well, recently in comics, she's Savage Hulk. I know Clay, and I am with lots of people when they didn't like she like that was a pushback. I just think it'd be if this report is true, which I don't think it is. They're saying production starts next year. That would mean the show comes out and then they already set her up to be Savage Hulk. I don't think I buy the story. I don't think I buy the storyline. I just like I said, I don't even know if I want Ruffalo to be that. I want Ruffalo to be
True.
like a semi maybe Nick Fury like ambassador of Avengers. Or like I said, I
Yeah.
love it if he's the one trying to put together a new team while Fury's in space. And he's
And I
kind of like the pseudo Nick Fury guy. And then when you need an action scene, boom, Hulk can come out, you know?
I think that would fit so well too of where he is in like in the MCU. Like, you know, he's gone through those phases of being the Savage Hulk. We've seen him like be emotionally distraught of like he really doesn't want to be the Hulk. Um
Mhm.
all like he's gone through so much, and then I feel like we were kind of at a resolution moment with like Smart Hulk, because it's like, oh, look
Yep.
at me, I'm the best of both worlds. And then Shang-Chi just kind of flipped this again, and then we see him back as Bruce. I want the explanation there, but again, I can't. It's hard for me to see the savage side of him because, like you just said, he seems like a an official or something for the Avengers or something like that. Maybe I'm just like I'm too. I have like what if in my head, so I'm just like, yeah, give me this crazy scenario and let's just fucking do it, and why
Yeah.
not? So
That's what it
I think
sounds
I'm
like. It
just
sounds
too
like a what
distant
if
from MCU.
episode.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
exactly. So and especially just where we are in the MCU. Like it's just such a random storyline where it's like it feels like it's got to be a what if story for them to make it plausible. But who knows? We're getting multiverse madness stuff. Maybe we go to a different world or something. And I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
that's where I could see it. It's like, oh, you play a World War Hulk in a different movie, and that's hey, we've gone so much for the MCU. I don't want to be fucking selfish or like greedy, but man, if we ever get to a point where they're doing like live action what if movies, fuck man, like that would just be like
yeah.
the mecca. But and S Bubs, don't tease me with shit like this. Say Mads Mikkelsen's gonna be the Joker. Don't like that would be a whole nother planning whatnot. But yeah,
Mads
it's
Mikkelsen and Robert Pattinson. Are you kidding me? Come
yeah,
on. That's oh,
yeah. The GA would be like
I got sweaty.
the guy from Secrets of Dumbledore. Uh, I hate that title so much. No, they probably still think he's the chief because no one fucking watched Hannibal, one of the greatest shows of all time. You
Yeah.
bastards! That got canceled. You should have watched Hannibal, and you should go get vaccinated, you motherfuckers. I'm trying to think if there's
Same people that
anything.
aren't getting vaccinated didn't watch
Yeah, yeah.
Hannibal.
Yeah, exactly. It makes so much sense, but no. I'm trying to think if there's anything else with Hulk. Like I said, I'm down to see them try. It's just when I hear this pitch, and like I said, I actually don't believe it. But let's say if it were true, I'd be like, okay, let's see how we get there. But at the same time, if it's like She-Hulk sets us up, I still sometimes worry, like, is this She-Hulk show just too much of Hulk where it's like his kid's rumored to be in it, Thunderbolt Ross is in it, Abomination's come back, he's in it. It's just like, and then it's like, oh, and it will set up a solo movie for him. It's just like, is this She-Hulk show just to like set up shit for Bruce? I certainly hope
Yeah.
not. And I don't think it will, because so far their shows have been, great to phenomenal for me. So I don't think it will, but just the stuff on paper is like, yeah, it sounds strange, but again, with all that Hulk stuff in that show, it does track up. Maybe it could be setting up like a solo movie for him.
Yeah. Maybe it could. He's taking a sip. I should have kept
Yeah, I
talking. I'm
thought you were gonna
sorry.
say something, but no. Let's do our last topic here. Let's do the Bond ranking. So we meant to do this last week, but we got busy. So we are ranking 5 categories. We're gonna do the same as What If. It's gonna be a small one. Because problem is like, will you do the retro? You kind of get a sense of like it's not a big secret. You already know, like, I think
Yeah.
what our like number ones are, whatnot. So we have was it 4 categories or 5 categories that we ranked?
One, two, three, four. I have. So I
4.
hope it's
Okay,
four.
so we got yeah, yeah. There's a fifth one, best credit.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So we have ranked them all, and there's gonna be no spoilers. So if people want to listen, don't worry about it. You can go back, check out No Time to Die review, check
We
out our
spoil
retros.
Shang-Chi, but we don't spoil James
Yeah.
Bond.
Man, Hulk and No Time to Die really popped off. We're ranking films, villains, songs, and girls. Now, the interesting is multiple times Kirkland said, how many do you have this? How many do you have that? So it's gonna be interesting to see if they line up because we didn't talk about that before because we didn't want to spoil anything. But I will,
Yeah.
Kirkland, let you pick what category do you want to start with
Where do we want to
first?
start with? I think let's start just like the movies start. Let's start with the songs. How does
Let
that sound
the
for you?
sky fall. That's probably my spoiler. What do you wanna go from worst to best or best to worst?
I'll go. I mean, I feel like sometimes it's fun, little drum roll, like what's our number one gonna be? But like
Mm,
some of these will probably be pretty similar. So we could just go number one down.
okay.
Are you
Hit
down
me.
for that? Yeah.
Hit
Hit
me.
me,
I'm
baby, one
down.
more time. Britney Spears
Hit
not in my
me,
list.
baby, one more time.
Number
Next
one,
year.
I have the lady that I personally think was like born to be like a James Bond like theme singer. Like she's
Mhm.
just got everything about it, and that's Adele with Skyfall. Um, I think I went on and on about it on the review. She's got that powerhouse voice, and she's just everything about that song is just such. It's just such masterfully done for a Bond song, and it's just such a good song on its own. So
Yeah.
yeah.
As Bub, some really good rankings there. You know my name, Skyfall, No Time to Die, and the other ones.
At least he had Skyfall in there. So
Yeah. You can keep going. Do your whole list because that's how we can
okay,
do it this
yeah.
way. Yeah.
Number two, I have the latest one, "No Time to Die" by Billie Eilish.
Okay.
I love that song. I've listened to it many, many times leading up to the movie. Again, it was a fun, just like just getting anticipated for the movie, so then you just get totally immersed with the songs and everything. Number three, I have "Another Way to Die," Jack White and Alicia Keys. This was an
Really?
interesting one
Wow.
because
At
when I first
3.
heard it, I really didn't like it. Actually, I remember being like, "This is not my James Bond theme song. What is this?" Probably listened to like Skyfall right before it, but the more I listen to it on my own, it is a really good song, and it is a really fun mix of having Jack White and Alicia Keys together because it's just got like that rock vibe that Jack White brings. Great vocals from Alicia Keys, and I think it's just a really good song. And when I was comparing it to the other two on the bottom of my list, I had to give it above it. So number four might be interesting here. I have Writings on the Wall by Sam Smith, not dead last.
Mm.
So this was the Spectre one, right? I don't even remember.
Yeah. It was
Yeah,
the Spectre
so
one.
so because the first time I had seen Spectre was on the retro, so that was my first like I think I had heard the song maybe once or twice like before, but it wasn't really memorable. But yeah, when I was listening to it for the movie, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if it fits that well. And then I was listening to the other ones on the list, and I'm like, you know what? This actually has the Bond vibes for me. So yeah, I liked it more than my last one, which is You Know My Name. I completely forgot about this one, and I think it's because we did the retro for it so goddamn long ago.
That's
I
true.
don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if it's just Chris Cornell's voice. I just
You
didn't
know
really like it. Yeah,
my
it
name.
was just I
So
don't know.
good.
Yeah, it is for
Spoilers for
many.
my list. Yeah.
So, but I personally, I don't know. It just, I think out of everyone, for me personally, it just didn't hit the Bond vibe. It was like, okay, I'm listening to the radio right now, and this song came on, and it's not a bad song. It's just for me personally, it didn't hit the Bond check marks that the other ones did.
Yeah, it's okay to be again on the wrong side of history. You know, with
Clearly,
friends
with S
and
Bubs too.
friends.
You know my
Oh yeah, hundred
name. That's his
percent.
number
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, so my number one, pretty odds to talk about Skyfall. It's a mix with the credits, everything like that, but it's just like it's the go-to. It just feels like it's a great one. But yeah, I'm with S Bubs. I don't got number one, but number two, it's a song I felt the same way, like, oh, it doesn't really feel like Bond. I also do love Chris Cornell, so like that's like a bias thing. But even when I heard it, I was like, ah, like it doesn't really exactly feel like him. But then over the years, I just loved it. And that's actually one of my go-tos just to put on. Like gym or like it's on my workout playlist. It gets you pumped. Like next time you're running, listen to that. And then I bet in years you'll be like, I made a mistake. I'm not putting it higher. Like listen to it just not with the film by itself.
Yeah.
You'll get going. So that's number two for
Okay.
me. I got I got writings on the wall at three. So it was tough because between my fourth one, but I like the song a lot more than other people do. I think people bag on it. I just like the way it built. It has a very classic, like 60s vibe to it, the same way kind of Adele was going for. Adele does that one better, but I still like it. The opening credits fucking suck though. The whole
Yeah.
like so
Terrible.
if we were talking about the Foley credits, that would take it down a lot. But the song I really like. No Time to Die is number four. I like all these songs. Again, I just wish it build a bit more or there was like a key change or something. Like it just feels like there's that crescendo gonna happen and it just doesn't. You go,
Hmm.
okay, that's fine. And then Another Way to Die. Still like it, but I feel like this is the one that other than the da na 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 na, I kind of forget about it. And there's a piano and I like even the lyrics, it's like I don't even know what the fuck like they're talking about sometimes. Like
Yeah.
when I listen to it. But yes, that's last place for me on that one, unfortunately, Another Way to Die.
Fair
So
enough.
I'm going to let's go with
Take
the
us away.
ladies. Let's go with the ladies, and
Ladies.
I'll lead off. So we'll see what you had here, but I'm going to go number one because again, not too surprising. Ava Green is Vesper Lynn. I think she is the greatest Bond girl. You know, there's lots of great ones out there, but she's just top of the list. Her and Daniel Craig just had fantastic chemistry, so it's going to be very hard to ever pass Vesper. And then so I kind of like cheated here because I have someone on the list like twice, and I will explain
Not
why.
allowed?
We'll see. But so I have Madeline from No Time to Die at number two, but specifically from No Time to Die
Yeah.
because I that's my spoiler as far as I have Madeline again at number four, and I'll reveal my theory in a second. But Inspector, because Inspector we talked about, I think she's better than some of the other Bond girls, but there was a lot missing in that, and I just feel like it wasn't there. Where No Time to Die, it was there. It was obviously she got to return, so that always helps. But the writing was better. I think the chemistry was better, just
Well, the
all
story
around.
was a lot more wrapped around her and like, yeah. Don't want to get into spoilers or anything, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I just think it worked really well. Number three, I forgot her name. What is the girl from Skyfall?
Camille?
Uh,
Oh no,
Camille. Yeah, yeah.
is
Or
it Camille? I thought that was Quantum. Hold on, I got it right here.
Camille, I think is the Quantum Girl. Yeah. For
Severin.
Severin,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, it
yeah.
sounds almost like the Rami Malek's name in fucking No Time to Die. But I have her at number three. I thought she was interesting. I thought she did her role well, so I liked her there. Number four, like I said, I have Madeline from Spectre. Number five, I have Taskmaster from Quantum of Solace. I'm just not a like. I like everyone above, and then there's ones I like or like love. I don't really care about her. And then last, I have Strawberry Fields. I put her dead last. So yeah.
What was your number? I lost track. Where were you at?
So I had one, two, three, four, five, six, but then technically
Okay.
five because there's two people on there once. So
Okay.
if Moneypenny counts as a Bond girl, she's in the top three. Yeah, you know what? I didn't
I
think
had
about that.
Moneypenny on my list because technically
Yeah,
she's not Moneypenny. Like in Skyfall, she's Eve.
yeah, but
She's
then she's Moneypenny at the end, you know. But you know what?
yeah,
Honestly,
true.
it retroactively, yeah, I'll bump everyone else down and put her at third because
Yeah,
that's a good call. I would include her, and then if we're including Dame Judy Dench, she's number two. She didn't pass Vesper, but like there's that argument in Skyfall, she's kind of the Bond girl, right? We've talked about that before, where it's she could act like that. So there's some retroactive list for you.
There you go. Okay, my list is all over the place here. Number one, I have Vesper as well.
Yep.
Never forget your first. She was the
Nope.
first Bond girl in the Daniel Craig series, so I thought she was just fantastic. And you just couldn't get rid of her. She just was fucking sticking with Daniel Craig in his head the entire series. So there you go.
Mhm.
Number two, I have my girl Fragile. No, Madeline, Lea Seydoux. She was so well done in the final movie, No Time to Die. 100% agree with you. She was pretty lackluster in Spectre, and that's just like a writing thing. I think she's a phenomenal actress, and it just wasn't written the best in that movie. But I'm glad that we got more of her in No Time to Die. Um, Number three, I have Moneypenny. There, she was just
Mhm.
very charismatic, was fun. I think in Spectre, like her I think it was Spectre. Yeah, it was Spectre.
Yeah.
When like it's her, Q, and M, they kind of have like their team gang up. Didn't really care for that too much, but like just her on her own and also her interactions with Bond, just really fun. Number four, I have Paloma Anna de Armas from No Time to Die. She is
SBUB just says that. Does that count or no? I don't know what
yeah,
specifics are about the
I think
Bond
she
girl.
does.
It's tough because we didn't talk about what the specifics were. To me, a
Yeah.
Bond girl has always been the main girl, in my opinion. But at the same
Okay.
point, I had Fields on there, so I broke my own rule, and I didn't have Jane Duty
Yeah.
Dench. If she was on there, I would rate her above Madeline from Spectre and the Skyfall girls. Because now I'm adding people, so now she would be four. She would actually be fifth now because
Yeah.
I'm putting Jane Duty Dench at two, and
I was
then we all
sorry.
and then I also added Moneypenny. So
Yeah, my list was ever changing. I because I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot about Vesper, which is a weird one because she's my number one.
yeah,
That was I would have been kicking myself if I missed her, but so I'm glad you went first. Yeah, Paloma, she was just so great in.
oh
It
yeah.
felt like a 4 minute scene that we had her in. I know it was a lot longer than that, but still, it was just such a small percentage of the movie. But she was so perfect. Like she was just so good, so charismatic, so charming, and I just wanted more of her. And I hope we get more of her down the line. Um, okay, after that, I have Taskmaster Camille. Uh,
Yeah.
um, and then I had God, what number am I at? I'm at five. So number six, I had Strawberry Fields. Again, very short appearance, but I thought I thought she was really I thought she was used pretty well.
Mhm.
Like just she was charming. But also her death had like a really big imprint, I think, on
Yeah.
Bond in that moment. It made him a little bit more accountable for like he's not just responsible for his own life, like he's literally affecting other people's lives now. And this lady that was just like a desk worker, she's literally died in
Oh,
such a gruesome
oh
way.
no, we've lost Kirk when he's talking about Mrs. Fields, but yeah, there he is. He's back.
Mrs. Fields. Oh, you lost my audio.
Yeah, I lost everything with you for a second there. You're
Oh,
gone.
did I just
You're
freeze?
yeah, you're just
Oh,
covered in
okay.
oil like Miss Fields. But anyways, you're talking about Miss Fields. You left
Yeah,
right off when it was talking about Bond having more responsibility for
yeah,
people.
because he's not
Yeah.
just he's like it's not just his life that he could possibly lose. Like he
Yeah.
literally like because of him, Fields died in such a gruesome manner, like drowned in oil. God, it's
Like yeah,
terrible.
he could have just masturbated and saved a life.
Yeah, he could have pulled a Joe Goldberg, but
Remember that, folks. Sometimes you can masturbate and save a life,
That's my
Uh
list.
let's take our final ad break and then we'll do best villains and best films. So we'll be right back.
Ooh, good wordplay.
Yeah.
And I
Didn't
forgot to
even
throw in
mean to.
Severin in there. She was, I don't know, not that important, I guess. Which is funny because she had so much more screen time than my other two picks. But
I wonder who has more screen time between her and Paloma. Like I feel like it's pretty equal, right? You think about like
yeah,
how much they're on screen together.
I think the whole thing with Paloma is like I'm like picturing her in such a short period, but like that scene
Yes.
was pretty big. Like when she meets
Yeah.
Bond, they go and do their mission, and then they just like say goodbye. Maybe because the goodbye was just so quick, and I'm like,
Mhm.
no, I want more of her. She was so good.
And we're back. So you get to go next, sir. What are
Okay.
we gonna go next with, or what are we gonna end it with?
Um, let's end with the movies. That's probably
Yeah,
the big one. Yeah.
that's the way to go.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's
So
that's the
number
main event.
one. to no surprise to no one and their grandma, number one, Silva, Javier Bardem. I God, man, I feel like I still have dreams, not even nightmares of this character, just like dreams on how phenomenal
Talking
he
to
was.
you.
Yeah,
Let's see who ends up on
touches
top,
my
and you're
leg.
just
Yeah.
playing Mario Kart. Yeah.
No, he just the performance alone is just so fantastic. Number two, this was actually kind of a tricky category for me. I was bouncing people left, right, and center on this one. Number two, I had Mr. White here, and he
Oh, Mr.
was
White. Oh, for a
yeah,
second, I think you said green. I was like, we're ending this podcast right fucking now. You have green at Mr.
he
at
was just
two.
so
Is like,
intimidating. He beat the shit out of Bond.
yeah, he knows how to work a pole. Like Jesus.
Oh no, I have Mr. Green here. Or fuck, you're putting words in my mouth. Mr. White, too many colors.
That's when they
Reservoir Dogs
transform
here.
into each other, Mr. Green. We're the
Uh,
author of your pains.
okay, yeah. So Mr. White, I think he started off as like an interesting villain, and then he kind of just went to the side. But the fact that he was just like intertwined with Bond's story like throughout his whole series, um, I don't know. I like the way that he was handled, and not even just for him to be someone that he's opposing. Like there's some character moments that I won't talk about. But
The one
he
with the
just
Hulk, right?
the
Real
one with the
good.
Hulk, yeah. At the end of Shang-Chi, he makes an appearance, comes in there. Uh,
Yeah.
no, so like I like the way that he was used throughout the series, and I think it had one of those effects that if I had just seen Casino Royale and I saw him, like, okay, he's all right. But the fact that yeah, just everything about him, I think it had one of those where like it's not like I finished the movie and I'm like that was a great villain, but the more I think about it, I'm like okay, he was used pretty damn well. So I it was a tough
I'm
one.
shocked.
I had him
I'm
way
shocked at
lower.
number two.
I had him
Yeah.
way lower, yeah. But
I don't even have
anyways,
them. I don't even have
and
them.
I'm not even doubting of that or
Yeah,
surprised
like
by that.
now in retrospect, I
Mm,
would put him above Green for sure, but like I did,
yeah.
but I'm not saying you're wrong. That I'm just surprised he's number two. I'm very surprised because I think I know your number three is, and the fact that that is not your number two, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that might be one that I kick myself on because, like I said, I was bouncing around the list so many times, but
Mhm.
nonetheless, number three, I have Le Chiffre.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
I can't believe that's number
yeah.
three.
I
Wow.
think it's just I think because he was set up to be like a bigger villain in my eyes, and he was just kind of a bitch like throughout the movie. Like he was just trying to pay off his debts, and he was like very scared for a lot of it. Still
Silva
very
is not
intimidating.
exactly the Joker-esque, Bubs. Calm down. I see your comparisons, but like I get it because lots of people say that, but he has some differences. Come on now.
So yeah, oh yeah, the torture scene and like those moments in the poker room, like those
Yeah.
are some great moments of just building tension. Even though like they're in a poker room, it's not like they're gonna pull out their guns, start shooting each other, but there's just so much tension in those moments. I think the end of his story is not the best, but also what happened with Spectre. It was a sad moment. So nonetheless, number four. Like that Spectre movie, it just brought down so many of these villains. So it was tough, man. Like it like literally we talked about that in the episode,
Oh,
but
I know,
the
I know,
moment of
yeah.
Spectre, it brought down my villains. Not enough
Didn't
to
bring
bring
down
down
Silva.
Silva. Not
Yeah,
enough to bring
Silva
down
still
Silva.
rises
Yeah.
above, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's the phoenix that rises from the ashes of Spectre. And
Yeah.
speaking of Spectre, I have the man himself, Blofeld here. Daniel Craig, or not Daniel Craig, James Bond's
Whoa!
brother. Yeah, Christoph Waltz is his brother. Just announced
Yeah.
here. No, I didn't really care for him in Spectre, especially like the dialogue, like when they go to
Mm,
his little meteor crater, wherever the hell he's at. But I think the moments with when he's in like the council, like the boardroom, and then like it's
yeah.
just really creepy. The shadow on his face, that's a really fun effect. And then when he just reveals Bond or "Hello James, was expecting you," whatever the dialogue is, and then the moments that happen in No Time to Die with him, that there's some dialogue between
Yeah.
him, and I think it lifted the character quite a bit. And unfortunately, he wasn't, or fortunately, he wasn't the character that was brought down due to the Spectre thing of him pulling or him getting his strings pulled because he was the puppeteer that was pulling everyone. So
He was actually the author.
He was the author of everyone's
He's author of a
pain.
book called Pain. Yeah.
Yeah, so where am I? So number 5, I have the man who I cannot say his name, Lucifer Safin, Rami Malek.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of potential with this guy as a villain. And again, I don't want to spoil No Time to Die, but I think he was one that kind of fell flat. Some of his dialogue was just so stereotypical, like villain type character when he's just like monologuing in certain moments. But I don't think he was a bad villain by any means. He didn't live up to the potential of what it could have been, especially for like the big final movie, No Time to Die. So
I'm surprised by
um
your list. I would have thought you had
yeah.
Rami above Kristoff. Also, I might be spoiling some of my stuff, but I because I
Yeah.
thought you were pretty disappointed with Kristoff, but no, he still gets the edge.
That was another thing, like Mr. White, where like when I left the movie, I'm like, pretty meh. But then the more I thought about it, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, it was not perfectly handled, but I think that they had some clever stuff with those two characters. So then my final one is Mr. Green, number 6. I might be missing
Yeah.
a villain.
We talked
I
about
don't.
Hanks if we put him in there or not, but
Yeah,
I'd
he
still
would
put
be
Hanks
above
above
Green.
Green. Yeah.
Absolutely.
This poor actor. We've just shit on him for like 3 weeks now, you know?
Mathieu, yeah, Mathieu Amalric. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but
Yep.
his just really unintimidating character. Really, yeah, just didn't like him throughout the movie. So there you go. That's my list. Probably controversial. That's definitely probably the most controversial one out of all these categories, but
It might be, yeah. Let us know,
nonetheless,
people. Yeah, my list is we don't have anything in common other than number one, because yes, of course, Silva.
yeah.
Just fantastic. We talk about Skyfall. I think that was one of the biggest things. We probably talked the most about Silva, but love that character, love that performance. That man should have won an Oscar for it, at least been nominated. But yeah, I just could watch that movie over and over again for many reasons. But he is one of the biggest reasons. So he was great, and I kind of wish there was a world where he survived and he was in Christoph Waltz's role as like the main guy. It's like the leader of Spectre, and so like that would have been
Yeah.
better. But number two, I got Lashif. I love Lashif. I do agree with you. Like the ending it's not so much like anticlimactic, but it's very sudden. But it does
Yeah.
kind of fit the character. But I love all their back and forth. I love how cold he is. I love that they do. He's very, he is cold and intimidating, but at times when he becomes pathetic, Mads just turns it on so well. He's like, I can get you the money. Like, I just need like an hour. Just give me a little more. I can get you the money and stuff. Like, he's just, he's like a chameleon. This was obviously the first time I saw Mads without knowing I was seeing Mads, because after this was Hannibal and then everything else. And he's such a great actor now. So definitely stuff in retrospective helps. But when I go back and watch it, it's just such a great performance by him. So I got Lashif. And then I'm just gonna say Rami Malek because I don't know how to fucking say his name. We've tried it so many times. I liked him in the sense that he was playing a classic Bond villain, and I think he did that well. A guy who kind of wants to destroy the world. His motivations aren't the clearest, but he has, an evilness to him. But I do think they gave him some motivations that worked, a little more development than those classic Bond villains that worked for me. I got Blofeld, second last, and then Green definitely last, because Green there's just nothing really that interesting about him. He's just very forgettable. I think I forget about him every time until I put in Quantum. I'm like, oh right, Green
Who's
exists.
the villain of this movie? Yeah.
Yeah, like
Like
Spectre, but not
SpongeBob's
Spectre. Yeah.
name from Nerd Guy Green. I missed that the first time around.
The nerd guy Green. Yeah, exactly. And like it was a strange thing, but here we are, the big one here. So let's go from worst to best to build this up,
Yeah,
because
let's do it.
I think I know probably what number one is, but I'm excited to see where the newest movie ranks, because I think that's the most controversial. So, and maybe let's go film by film, because I want to see if we link up. My
Yeah,
last one, I got Quantum.
I got Quantum as well.
Yeah. I think it's like still an enjoyable movie, but as far as just being intrigued or being locked in and like actually like it's enjoyable because the character stuff for the most part just doesn't really work. Even with Spectre, I have some problems, but it's like there's some character stuff or some moments where okay, this is really intriguing. I'm really engaged right now. Quantum doesn't really have anything that engages me.
Yeah, no, 100%.
What do you got as your second last?
Second last, I have Spectre here.
I have Spectre as well.
Yeah, you as well. God, I like
God.
it's not like a terrible movie, but I think what it did to like the previous movies, like villains, it really left like a bitter taste in my mouth. It really brought down those villains. And like even Silva, like just knowing that he was like a puppet and like I think I can still look at Skyfall and just ignore the fact that like someone's pulling his strings because then it's never even hinted to. He's just like, oh yeah,
No.
look at what I can do. I can topple
Yeah.
empires like all right here in my little island. But just the fact that we had that scene in Spectre of just like, oh no, it was all me the whole time. Really did not like that. So that was
Yeah. No,
still
I
better
think
than
that
Quantum.
movie is a film that has a lot of potential that just kind of falls short, and
Yeah.
beautiful looking movie. Some, Daniel
Yeah.
Craig's looking beautiful as the tire. But yeah, it's not a bad movie, but it's one of those of now I feel like I'll watch it because No Time to Die. But before it felt very okay, we kind of struck out here in some things. And you can go back to our retro. There's some stuff, especially the ending and yeah, the author of the pain and like all the twists and all connected that I think really hurt the franchise. But I think No Time to Die kind of fixed it, made it better. So top three now. So this is where we might diverge. So what is your number three?
You
Well,
go. I
Kirkland
just
Panther
went.
froze, so we're not
I
gonna know
just
what his
went.
number three is. It was a great freezing. He just froze and he is like smiling. Oh, he's back. What
I'm
was
back.
your number three, Mister? Because I
Well,
saying this is where we
I
might
just went
diverge.
last. You should go now, shouldn't you? Or are you
Okay.
trying to?
No, so this was really tough. Because at one point you can listen to No Time to Die review. I was very high on that film, and I was like, it might be the best Bond film. And then I went back and forth, and we talked about. It. I was like, okay, it might not be number one, but like I went back and forth, and it's very tough with that and Casino Royale. I think it's just overall, as of right now, if I'm sitting there and I got the DVD of both of them, which one am I gonna put on? I think that I'll put on No Time to Die later on because I would put that on first because I think I'll put Casino Royale here. Casino Royale is my third spot. I love this movie. I've loved it more and more as we've watched it. I said it's like Winter Soldier, where like each time I watch it, I like it more and more. But No Time to Die just has some big set pieces and some really cool stuff. I actually do think No Time to Die might have more problems than this movie, but I think as a finale, it's just so good, and it just hits you with that like more problems, but the stuff you enjoy is really, really good. And there's some scenes I can't wait to revisit. There's great scenes like the poker stuff and everything like that, but I again, it's a apples to oranges. Ask me in a year, this could be different. But right now, I got Casino Royale at three.
Interesting. Yeah, I was wondering where our lists were gonna diverge, and it's not gonna be here because I got considered right now
Whoa.
as well. Yes, this movie I really didn't like it the first time I watched it, actually,
Mhm.
and then when we did it for the retro, maybe I'm just able to appreciate more of like films and stuff like that because I remember the first time I watched, it, I'm like, this is so fucking boring. They're just playing poker. My Aston Martin got fucking trashed, and I hated that because I got to see it for like 10 whole seconds,
Yeah.
and I don't know, I just for
Yeah,
whatever
that
reason,
was
I didn't
really
really care for
unfortunate
it,
what
but
happened in that car.
but like you said, like the more I watch it, the more I like it, and the more I can appreciate it. It's really fun for like Daniel Craig's first film. Like it's Bond basically like fresh on the scene, ready to go kick ass. Like he's
Mhm.
just like a recruit, and
Great origin story.
yeah, it's a really good rewatchable movie. I think one of the most brutal torture scenes, way worse than what Blofeld could
Yes.
do. I think with his stupid little CGI needles.
I'll take those needles anytime over the bullwhip to the balls.
Yeah,
Anytime. Give me that. Like, especially with Blofeld's
100%.
accuracy. Mads Mikkelsen is better with his fucking rope swinging around. Where Blofeld has like the highest technology in the world and he can't hit a fucking nerve. You kidding me?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So here I have Casino Royale, top three.
Yep. Well, I don't know if we're diverging. So you tell me, what do you
Yeah.
have at number
Oh,
two?
very interesting here. But at the end of the day, I couldn't lie to myself. I had to put No Time to Die, number
Yeah.
two. Um, is that what you had?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I thought because like I said on the review, because obviously we have Skyfall at number one, so I think we kind of
yeah.
talk about both these films at the same time. When I walked in No Time to Die, obviously it ends on like a big hype moment, like man, what an ending to the era. So it's like between liking the whole film and then the ending, I was like, man, this could be the best Bond film. And there's actually things about it I could argue for why it is, but then once we talked about it more, there is just like No Time to Die has some super high highs. Like it may even have higher highs than Skyfall as far as just like a send off to the era Bond, and
Yeah.
like even stuff just like and Armis comes in for this great little cameo appearances. The fact that they get Madeline to be this great character you care about, but it's just there's a few more critiques or negatives that we talked about with the new 007 who we really liked, but we felt kind of dropped the ball, and then just some other spoilery problems that were like, oh, like that just didn't really make complete sense what they were setting up. It's like we can get there, but it was a little messy. Where Skyfall, I think, is just a bit more cleaner. It's definitely more simpler. It doesn't have to end the Craig era. It doesn't have to close off some loose ends. So I get that's why Skyfall, I think, is kind of not, I won't say an easier film to make, but it's just like you don't have to worry about some things that No Time to Die does. But No Time to Die, I applaud for taking some big risks that I do think pay off.
Yeah, 100%. And again, like, I was really trying to put aside like the recency bias because I just saw No Time to Die, so only seen it once. But those like fuck, like that movie like had me in tears in certain moments. Like it was just
Mhm.
such a perfect send off, I think, to the Daniel Craig era of the 007s. And I don't know, I think for the amount of times that I've seen Skyfall though, and like I could honestly see that as also like a great send off to the Daniel
Yep.
Craig era films because it's just there's so many things concluding in that movie. M's gone. Like he he takes down Silva, like basically on if not on near his parents' grave. Like he's just like it's
Yeah.
such like a homecoming type
It's a full
situation.
circle type of movie.
Yeah, and that movie, oh, it's just I couldn't lie to myself. I had to put Skyfall number one, and like at the end of the day, that was the best Bond villain in my eyes was Silva, and just such a imposing force that Bond had to take on. Where yeah, so No
Yeah.
Time to Die, phenomenal, great end of the series, but I can't put Skyfall below it.
Oh yeah, no, same thing. Once I thought about it, just it's great. And Skyfall has such a rewatchability. And yeah, and again though, that it's sure we got Quantum and Spectre and even Spectre, but like you look at that top three, No Time to Die, Skyfall, Casino Royale, again, like any like I would look back, you could maybe argue Connery, and one day we're gonna retro those movies, but other than that, like one, I don't think any of them are to these levels, but like man, I don't know if a Bond, I hope for their sake, whoever the next Bond is lucky enough to have one of a film like this be as good as one of these films. And the fact that Craig has three ones that you could, I think, legitimately argue for, like, oh no, this is the best one. This is the best one.
Yeah,
He's
I
pretty
think so.
lucky. And that's also a huge shout out to the producers and cast and crew and the directors. Like, it's not just him, obviously. He gets the headline, but it's like, if another Bond can get three films this quality, they will be extremely lucky because Craig was extremely lucky to get these because these were just knockout films. These top three, like I said, because Skyfall, I consider just like even one of my favorite movies, you know. And
Yeah,
right now,
no,
No Time to
seriously.
Die is my favorite film of the year. So it's like these are like not just like, oh yeah, it's just a good Bond movie. It's like these are outstanding films. And same thing Casino Royale. I think I was like Kirkland where I was like lower in the past, but now in retrospective, especially the way they took it with the continuity wise with Bond, it was great. It really worked out and paid off, and it made it unique and fresh and just a new set of eyes on it and a coat of paint. So just what an era, like what a run, you know, like from to get like these three movies and two other ones that are like just fine B-rate action movies. Not bad, you know.
No, 100%. Just yeah, I 100% what you 100% agree with what you said. I can't even speak. We've been going so long here.
Oh yeah, we you and me, just me and Kirkland alone going 2.5 hours. But you know, it was good. We already did fucking 6 hours on fandom. Why not do another 2.5? But if you want newscast, we hit you. We filled your gullet right now because
Look what
I'm
they
not
did to my boy. Oh, I put it in the background. No, what am I doing?
oh, you're trying to show your
Oh, I
Ashley
ruined
Martin, huh?
the background too.
Oh,
I
we
don't
got
even
the
know which one we
popsicle
had.
flavors now.
Let's
No,
just
it's
bring
all
back
good.
Florence.
Oh,
Why not?
Florence.
Yeah.
Hashtag Pew Boys. I got my
Oh
shirt
yeah.
already for the stream. So, but well, thank you, sir, for doing this. Let's see. As Bob says, Suicide Squad and No Time to Die might be up there for my favorite movies of the year. Wow, you really like Suicide Squad that much? I'm not saying I disliked it, but that's bold. So, Kirkland will have to watch it for Golden Geeks and let us know what he thinks about Suicide Squad.
I'm
But
excited to see it. Yes. I mean, I've only really heard good things. I haven't heard too many people talking about it, but
yeah, yeah.
look what they did to my boy. Look at that
Oh man.
travesty.
On this Vesper, just on the ground in the road. What a way. But no, thank you, sir, for doing this. This is a good one.
Absolutely. Lots of fun.
Yeah, lots of fun, lots of talk. I think fans will enjoy this. Let us know. I gotta start pumping this more at the beginning because on our newscast we do Twitch, and if you're on Amazon Prime, please use that Prime subscription because there's a good chance you have a Twitch subscription just sitting there that you don't use every month that you could help support the channel, help the Twitch channel grow, help us grow. So I'll start pimping that more. Twitch is a new thing, we're experimenting with it, but Thank you everyone that watched long. Thank you everyone that subscribed and followed and listened to the podcast. I promise when you hear from us next, which will be Dune, which will be pretty exciting.
Very excited.
Will not be
Long
boring.
awaited.
Long awaited, yeah.
Boy.